think he had him all pumped up about Buffalo. And I think the pissed off look on his face at the draft lottery that night when he checked his watch and walked off all angry, he did not want to go to Edmonton.
Mandatory minicamp underway for the Buffalo Bills, and some good news right off the bat. Head coach Joe Brady confirming every Bills player is in attendance. But there was some injury news as linebacker Dorian Williams is dealing with an undisclosed injury. Brady said the hope is he's going to be ready for training camp, but would not go into detail if the injury was the same suffered in the divisional round versus Denver or one picked up in the offseason. We'll get more on today. Sal Capaccio joining the show later on today at 5. Adam Schefter said earlier today that while nothing is official, he thinks it is more likely than not Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to play for the LA Rams and staying with the Rams. It was reported today that left tackle Alaric Jackson was arrested on Monday for a felony domestic violence charge. And then two-time All-Pro guard Joel Bitonio, announced his retirement after 12 seasons, all of which were with the Cleveland Browns. Stanley Cup Finals are back in action tonight. It's Game 4 in Vegas at 8. Golden Knights are up 2-1 in that series over Carolina. Coverage right here on WGR will begin a half hour before puck drop at 7:30. And then in baseball, Bison's back home. They host Syracuse at 6:35. That game can be heard on our sister station, the Bet 1520. The Yankees, they are at the Guardians at 6:40. The Jays, they host Philadelphia at 7:07, and at 7:10. The Mets, they host St. Louis. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for West New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I don't love junior mints. I just don't hate them. I don't understand why they are treated like second-class candy.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Oh,
There's a
you don't
fantasy
understand why a
team name.
candy that is basically toothpaste wrapped up in stale chocolate is treated like a second-class candy. All right, I get it. It's a good, valid question.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Is there a time to change? You know, the 3 teams I've drafted this year, second-class candy is pretty good.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Well, I think I have to say this, no pun intended, hint, hint, revelation I'm about to share is something that was a first for me, and it happened this morning.
Okay. You kissed a girl.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. I don't really know what happened there. It just sort of clicked in, and before I could stop it, it just was out, and then I was like, now I got my head down.
That happens.
Yeah.
When was the last time?
Yeah, no.
I had a dream. You started it. I had a dream.
We should just leave.
I had a dream.
Okay.
That was one of those where you wake up and it seemed like maybe it really did happen.
Okay.
Right? There are degrees
Yep,
of dreams. There are ones where you wake up and you have no memory of it.
Mm-hmm.
There are ones where you wake up, terrified because you're falling out of an airplane. There are one. I have that one like once every 2 weeks. There are ones where you do remember the details and like, wait a minute, I did not just see this person? That didn't really happen?
Yeah.
Okay. For better or worse.
Do you get the ones where you realize that you must be remembering like 5 different dreams? Because there's no way this is all one continuous saga. Like maybe you had like a few different, and like, wait a minute, I was here, and then this person from completely a different context is here, and yeah, no, that I think that probably means those were hours apart, but I just happen to remember them.
I don't know.
I've never talked to a dream specialist about it.
You are right now. I would say that in today's example, there were 2 that were definitely separate, but I think probably happened near each other, if that's possible. I woke up a few times over the night, so I was up at like 2, 3, 5, 7.
Yeah.
One of those.
Par for the course.
And this is probably not helping me, but I'm in the habit now of turning on an audiobook. And I've told you this. I pick one that I've read already because I don't want to miss something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into this book about the Big East. I didn't pick that because I want to be sure I'm awake for this next chapter about the Big East. I'm loving this book, Dana O'Neill. But this is an old, I don't know how old it is, but it's old to me. Michael McCambridge about sort of the history of the NFL.
Okay.
And apart from this one part that had nothing to do with the NFL, there was, and there's nothing more to say about that. There's another part where I had a dream, I think possibly for the first time in my life, that the Bills won the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's really interesting.
I don't think I've ever had that dream. How many calls do you think we've taken over the years from fans who have told us about that dream that they just had? Maybe it's 20.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more.
Yeah.
I mean, once in a while, I had a dream, usually like it's in the playoffs or something.
Yeah, right.
I had
Guys,
a dream.
I got to tell you, this is what I think is going to. I had a dream and it seemed really real, and I just wanted to share.
Yes. And all I remember about it is pretty much three things. One is I'm watching it, and they're close to winning, and I'm here, which I think is possibly where I would be.
Yeah, I think that's a night game that we would probably work after.
Unless we're at it.
Right. But I mean, we don't, we don't.
We've never been to a road game in our lives together.
That's right. We don't work the night games anymore for post game, but that's it's barely a night game too. It's like 6:30.
6:38.
Anyway, whatever.
So there was a part one where it's late in the game and it may be about to happen, and our boss Tim is here. He was in it, and Sal was here. And you were here, and some other people.
I'm glad that I was here.
Yeah.
I want to be here, with you when the Bills win the Super Bowl.
Then I went into another room as the game was about to end, and the Bills had a field goal. They were already ahead.
Oh, no. Were they kicking the field goal of death?
No, they were kicking a field goal that pretty much clinched it.
Okay.
Like if they made the field goal, they had it.
All right.
And they made the field goal, and then it's part three where I'm in maybe this room again or in another room, and the celebration has started, and on TV is probably a local news channel where they're just showing a bar and people are rushing in or out of it and starting to celebrate. And then I did a thing that I am not known for.
You took your shirt off?
Listen. Don't do it again.
Tarps
You already
off.
got me once. Tarps off. You already got me once.
Schopp, tarps off.
Yeah. Schopp's off. Don't do it again.
All right, sorry.
No, I started hugging everybody.
Oh my Lord! Wow.
I'm not a hugger.
No,
I'm not a toucher.
You are not. No.
But I hugged Tim first, and like congratulations, and then you, and then Sal, and then I woke up. I think it was 26-17 was the score, because they were up 6, and the field goal clinched it. Like had to be late in the game, and they had it.
Yeah.
And then by the time I entered the third part, the game was over.
Right. And the hugging would indicate that they won.
And they, we were like talking.
I hope anyway, because we've been through a lot of losses, and we've never hugged.
I don't think we've ever hugged. Period. Am I wrong? Somebody die? Maybe. We had like there were conversations like they actually did this. This is real. And then it wasn't when I woke up. It was not real.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really that. I wasn't longing for it. I didn't wake up like, oh no,
yeah, right.
It didn't happen.
Right.
But that was my dream.
Wow. And
it's possible that in this book I'm listening to, parentheses reading, there is a section about the '90s Bills, but I don't know. I've been asleep for it. I've never heard it. It's possible.
I wonder if that
I know.
Can you? Is there a way for you to discover what part of it you did listen to, and if that came while you were asleep and like sort of penetrated your subconscious?
I remember
that would be amazing.
Between like the 3 a.m. wake up and the 5. I remember. I said it for. I don't know what to do about this, except for like just not turn it on and get through. But I do put it to an hour. And then I wake up and it's not playing. I'm like, oh, what happened? But I'm not confused by it. I sort of want it back.
Right. And
so at one point in the middle of the night, I was listening to a chapter on Paul Tagliabue. And trivia. Hopefully hopefully this was not part of the dream, because I think this is actually what I heard in the book.
Going to be Tagliabue trivia? I don't like my chances.
Patrick Ewing broke his Georgetown rebounds record.
Tagliabue had the record before Patrick Ewing.
Yes, I want to say that that's true, that's a fact. Good. Now
we could probably find that out.
I know, but which is more likely to have been in a dream? But that I think is real. That Tagliabue went to Georgetown.
Okay.
And he's tall. He was tall. He's dead now. He was tall, and he held the Georgetown some rebounds record, like single season or something, until Ewing broke it.
All right.
And we were just talking about Patrick Ewing yesterday, you and I.
Because you're listening to this Big East book.
Yes,
right.
Which makes me more suspicious that it wasn't a dream section. But I'm pretty sure I actually did hear that. Like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I have to remember that for the show tomorrow, which I would not have, except for this, except for this Bill's dream element.
I see. That's the trapdoor to the other thing that you're not sure if was a dream or a conscious thought. Is that did I have this right? Or you know what are you confused about? Are you confused about anything? I'm confused.
Oh no. Well, that's worse.
No, it's
what are you confused about? I think the Tagliabue trivia question is correct.
Okay.
But I'm sort of like half kidding, thinking that maybe it's also part of a dream because it's kind of
right. That's what
incredible.
That's what I meant. That's the source of the.
I don't remember dreaming about Paul Tagliabue.
Right.
But I was listening to him being talked about in a book.
Right.
Which I should get you the name of. Michael McCambridge is a famous football reporter and author, and I like the book a lot. Like just all-encompassing history of the NFL kind of book. So anyway, the point isn't whether that Georgetown stat is right. The point is that I had a dream that the Bills won the Super Bowl, I think 26-17.
Yeah.
And they clinched it with a late field goal, and that was it, and they really did it.
I'd be inclined to put more stock in this.
Uh-oh.
If, we just had Brayton Wilson had quite a few years ago a psychic call him, I think in the newsroom, and say that the Sabres were going to win the Stanley Cup in 2026. And the Bills would win the Super Bowl in 2028, I think were the dates, if I remember the years, or maybe it's next year for whatever. And the playoffs are going on, and like, okay, well, we'll see here.
That's hard to believe.
And
that
didn't
happen.
That went by the wayside when they lost Game 7.
What does the psychic do next?
I don't know. I don't know. Like what? Yeah, I mean now
there goes that.
You're past that. I think you just gotta put more money in the account and start over.
I think you got to just pretend like that's. I misheard.
Pick yourself up off the ground and keep going.
This can't be the end of my career.
Keep predicting things.
What kind of success rate should psychics have? Shouldn't it be 100?
I mean,
this is going to happen.
The genuine article.
Shouldn't it be 100%?
Yeah.
You miss one, your credibility is seriously in question, which it already was because you're telling me you're a psychic, which I know is nonsense.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, go on. So the Sabres did not win the Cup.
They did not win the Cup.
Is there still a way they could? Could there be a review and they're back in? And
this is one of these moments
these teams have maybe some drug
infractions. With the sheets of paper and the rustling.
Is there some way to get home this year?
I think
this year.
I'm 99.9% sure that they're eliminated. I don't think they can back.
There's no system where everybody could just sort of be suspended for drugs or something, and they give the cup to the last team that didn't have that. There's no chance of that. So, okay, well, I guess you're probably right.
But how about that? After all these years, a Bills win the Super Bowl.
I know.
I wouldn't be able to say with authority because I feel like I rarely remember dreams anymore. And so I can't say I've never had like a dream about the Bills or the Sabres or the championship or whatever.
You just don't know.
I just don't know. I've never awakened and realized that I had just wow. There was a parade.
I would like to say something like it's because you don't wake up 4 times every night, but you do.
I do.
Think. So
I
that
definitely,
wouldn't be.
I definitely.
I gave
do.
myself more kicks at it today.
Yeah, right.
One of these times I'm going to fall asleep and have that dream, and then wake up like, okay, well I did it.
I'm like on like a every 3 hours schedule, like almost to the point where if I look at the time when I wake up and it's not been 3 hours yet, I'm kind of mad. Like, oh, come on. Give me my 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep before I have to get up and go to the John, will you?
It's the combination of late to bed, was out late with my daughter, and then stayed up, which, I mean, I'm not tired yet, so I stay up. Mm-hmm. And then I know I have to get up for something this morning. And that, I think, it's that. Like when I have a flight in the morning or something.
Right.
And I just, I cannot rest.
I never sleep.
It's just like I know I have to get up early. Is it that time yet? And then I look at the clock and it's 4 hours earlier. I'm like, good. And then back to sleep. Then I wake up and it's 3 hours away and I'm good. And just
I don't have it in me yet.
That's not what they call restful.
Not to set an alarm for days like that because I know I'm going to wake up anyway. I always set the alarm, but I never, ever, ever, ever make it to the alarm.
So what about this Super Bowl idea? Like maybe, right? Last year we've had this a few times. Was it last year when the popular narrative, and I think I was definitely in on it. Hey, it doesn't have to be your best team to win it.
Yeah.
Was that last year? Was it 2 years ago? When were we at that point? Maybe it was last year during the season.
Well, I mean, last year they were behind New England all year, so, or, most of the year anyways. And, not that they couldn't catch them, but it might have been a year where we were talking ourselves into that a little bit. I remember 2 years ago there being a lot of there was a synergy with Manning and Brady, and when Manning, how many times it took him to finally beat Brady with the Colts and the Patriots and that rivalry. And I think it lined up like 2 years ago, like this is Josh's X year and this is your Manning. Okay. And there were a lot of people kind of into that. And I think I sort of got swept. Yeah, all right, why not us this year? This could work.
The problem with it always was that it's only to say that it can happen, right, which is almost nothing to say. Like, right, we know that.
Right.
But, it was a feel-good reminder that if you have a team in your division or conference that's like maybe a little bit better than you are, that doesn't mean you can't get there. And I think it probably has to be to a point. Well, you tell me. Is it reassuring that Kansas City just went 6-11? What is that? This is the first, not so like black and white, but the first offseason where we're not really talking about them, but maybe we'll start to.
Yeah.
Are they still the same in the way that they've been, where, does Ross Tucker come on our show again to start a new season of that and say, like, look, you're going to have to beat Kansas City when it counts. And until then, I don't want to talk to you.
I think you got to at least see what Mahomes looks like coming out of the injury. But mostly last year, to me, I mean, they were already in trouble when he got hurt, right? Like, they weren't. It's not like they had a.
Oh yeah, no, right, they were already dead.
They were right. So it's not like they had a bad year just because he got hurt. They had a bad year that got compounded by him getting hurt. But they were already on the ropes, at least, if not dead. So
he started 14 games. Through 14 games, they were 6-7.
Yeah.
Through 14 weeks.
Okay.
And then he might have gotten hurt in the next game.
So I want to slow down on, let's see what he looks like. I mean, they had the bad result with him mostly. So, I mean, it's gotta ding him. I don't know. Does it have to be sticky? I mostly think because he's been so great and the coach has been so good and the defense has been so hard to play against at times that they're just going to be right back. They're going to be like last year never happened. And really, more than anything else, what Kansas City having a down year does to me, and this sort of lines up with my feelings of unease about the year and just assuming everything's going to go great. Like, the fact that it's out there that a team with Patrick Mahomes, at least for 14 games out of 17 on a season, could have a year that bad, to me means it could happen to anybody. And I'm as inclined to think like it's just going to be that year, that random crappy year that just whatever doesn't go your way. You lose a couple close games and it spirals, and maybe there's an injury wrapped up in there somewhere. But that they're fallible means and you always knew this, but to see it happen with such a great quarterback and such a difference maker, still not be able to get you right, just sort of gives me pause about the whole operation. Like, that's awfully gloomy, I know, but like, it happened to them. I'm not immune. I don't have some secret code that keeps me from having the roof fell in.
No, but there's no way to live like that.
No, I know. But I'm telling you,
an injury is an injury.
Right. What I don't like about it is that them having a bad year works on me sort of backwards. It sort of gets me thinking about, when's our turn?
Ooh, that's dark.
I mean? Like, when's the bad year? Not an injury. I'm not predicting it, but just when's the bad year? A little bit. Yeah, I try to ward that off, but I mean, I'm admitting it.
Well, so much for my dream of the Bills winning a Super Bowl until you came along. And, hey, look, I mean, an injury hasn't happened yet. Maybe it's now. That's kind of the bottom line there. But, well, I mean, Baltimore's had their share of this too with Jackson, where a couple of series became undone by that. But Allen has not missed a game in almost his entire career.
But again, it's not necessarily based on him getting hurt. Mahomes, that's why I wanted to clarify, how much did he play last year? Like they still had a bad season, even though he was there for, the vast majority of it.
He got hurt in week 16. They were not way buried, but they were not good odds to make it.
Right.
He got hurt against the Chargers in a game that they led. And then Chris Oladukin started the next week. They lose the game to the Chargers by 3. They go to Tennessee and they're dead. I think that's it.
Yeah.
They were 6-9 and 6-11 in the end, the Chiefs. Well, I don't know. We've got the start of mini camp this week, and there's lots of media stuff. We've got Brady. Brady says everything. I didn't listen to it, but I was reading Sal sort of tweet by tweet. He covers. You're gonna once you hear it, you're not gonna be able to unhear it. He covers every possibility and every answer.
Right.
And that happened today, which I think that's probably how you're taught in his job, in his profession. That's probably how you're taught. Just how do I do? This is how McDermott was, and then what's the right way to put this? He got more comfortable. He got to a point where he wasn't so much worried about it, to the point that last year, in his 9th year as the Bills head coach, he started to talk in a way where you found red flags.
Right.
He's telling us something that he doesn't want to say directly. But, it did sound at times like a little bit conspiratorial. But I think in the end it was right. He did give away some frustration that he was feeling about the roster or whatever. And I think Brady goes into this, and again, this is, I'm sure, how he's advised. First-time head coach, everything he says runs the risk of being taken apart. And, we don't want that for Joe. He doesn't want that.
No.
So it's only still early June anyway.
And the only concern I have about that tendency that he has, that definitely came through when he was talking every Monday as the offensive coordinator, that's sort of you're asked a direct question, and let me give you it could be this, 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 and just tell me, like you're saying, he just gives you everything. And however he is in the press, do I want him to be polished and good at it? Sure. Mostly what I worry about is if he has that tendency in public, that I hope it's not something that how he handles talking to players. Because I think if you want to just please every guy you're talking to as the head coach of a football team, you are going to run into real trouble. So it would be perfectly understandable. I mean, I don't sound a lot different at home. There's more swearing probably than I do when I'm sitting here with you.
Kind of has to be.
But someone who's become a head football coach, there's a media side, there's a front-facing side to how you're going to talk and answer questions and interact, and then there's how you're going to do the rest, your job, actually. The media part is only such a small part of the job. I mean, it matters because the perception of your franchise is largely perceived through that, because that's the guy that talks all the time. So I don't know. I have no reason to believe that he'll be that way behind closed doors in private with players. All I'm saying is if that's a habit and he's a pleaser, that could be a problem.
Well, he's coached for a long time, and he's been here for a few years, so it shouldn't be that there's that much unknown internally about him in this area. But I'm kind of expecting, what went wrong Sunday, Coach? Well, listen, it starts with me. I've got to coach better. Don't forget the other guys on that side get paid too. We put our pants on one leg at a time. Could we have played better? Yes. Are there things we could have done better? Yes. But it's hard to win in this league. Next. I just sort of feel like that's how this is going to go, at least for a while. I think if there's adversity, that's when that gets tested. I mean, not just like you lost and fell to 11-4. I think if there's adversity, that's when, if you will, the truth comes out. Joe Brady. Yesterday, we had a short conversation. We ended up on Alex Tuck again, but if it doesn't go well, why didn't it? 803-0550 for your thoughts on him, how this is going to go, and whatever else we've been on here. We don't need, dream analysis or psychics. We definitely don't want that. Trista Crick returns today. That'll be in just over an hour. Sal Capaccio as well with his reflections on everybody he talked to today and what he saw. 803-0550 for your calls. We'll look next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garfalo, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
give Belknap a ring.
It. Just go to my look. This won't be hard. Just search it. Just like, hello, phone. Where is Mighty Ducks Game Changers? Like Disney Plus. It. Just go to my look. This won't be hard. Just search it. Just like, hello, phone. Where is Mighty Ducks Game Changers? Like Disney Plus. Great. Look how easy that was. Go to Disney Plus. Not there. Only the trailer.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All the other Mighty Ducks things are there. The show has never sounded older.
Yeah,
the show has never.
I know.
The best. Now I'm going to get defensive. Just point out that my daughter is 13. All right. I mean, I can't be that old if I'm not Larry King. Now the show really sounds old. Who's that? Seattle. Has the show ever sounded older? Seattle in the NBA Finals.
F-.
I like this point. F- to me seems like just, like a cartoon.
Right.
Not a real.
Yeah,
F is the lowest.
Yeah, it was like Bugs Bunny, the teacher. Like, what are we doing here?
F-.
The show ever sounded older.
The Bengals food.
See, kids, Bugs Bunny was a cartoon character. I did see the Scouts play in Buffalo. Yeah, I saw a Kansas City Scouts game as the show ever sounded old.
Well, I'm going to be mad about this, but I'm not going to sacrifice my jersey number for it. Matthew Golden That's taking it pretty seriously. So I went through thinking about numbers.
I think I like 22 on a wide receiver.
Bob Hayes.
Yeah, works.
Hey, can you think of another one?
No. That's why I like it.
Has the show ever sounded older?
To me, 22 doesn't strike me. Well, I mean, certainly Bob Hayes. It does not strike me as a slow number. It's one of the. He was like an Olympic 100-yard dash champion.
That was his brand.
Has the show ever sounded older?
No pun intended. How are you today? Are you good?
I'm good. Yeah, I feel
it's out there. It's in the space.
I feel almost just about as normal as ever. Yeah, I feel
really
fine. Yeah.
I think
last night was rough. I had to take 3 pills at 7:00 last night, and then I had dinner, and that didn't go great.
Why?
That's just the prep called for that.
3 pills and then dinner?
Well, it said take the pills at 7 p.m. I didn't eat, the second I walked in the door, so I took the pills and then had some dinner. And the first couple hours of bedtime were a little unruly, but things simmered down, and I've been great ever since. So I'm all good. But in an hour, I start drinking the stuff. So
that ought to be good.
We'll see what happens. The last time I did this, there was no trouble at all. So I don't.
That was a long time ago.
I'm old enough to have done this. This is my third. I'm having a colonoscopy tomorrow. Hey, men's health. It's my third one. So the first one I had is almost 10 years ago. I remember being in here.
See, I'm sorry that I don't.
Starting the stuff, and I don't think I had to leave early, but like when we were done, I had to really get home fast. Because it was just, I was the medicine was taking effect, or the plan was taking effect. I think they've, in the 10 years that have passed since then, saw the
technology.
The prep
improved.
is not. It's more maybe last night was it's more gradual.
I don't know if I believe this
because I did this 3 years ago. It led to me actually. Well, it's not why I ended up getting sick, but I got sick before I could have a surgery that was discovered that I needed it during a colonoscopy 3 years ago.
And, Ray, Ty, Frank, those guys involved, and I hope those opportunities, come up this year. James was just playing at such a high level last year, and he was in such a rhythm and a routine that, I felt confident in him being able to kind of uphold that. And this year, again, we're looking at everything. But when James is not here, those other guys are taking advantage of the reps, right? And so a great opportunity for them. But it's always good to see Jimbo back.
Joe Brady. Well, that's an interesting one. Forgetting, just sort of what's the word? The words, forgetting, the answer to the question. That's an interesting one where you really could look at it either way. Is there some, how serious a risk, but any kind of level of risk in the kind of workload Cook just had? Repeating? Is that something that the Bills would want to avoid? How do you do that? What Brady said about last year, one less year of workload on him, and you're contending. I don't remember myself sitting here every day last year, they really have to take that guy out. I mean, it wasn't really like that.
Right.
But as he gets older, that would become more and more of a question you'd want to ask yourself. And, now I'm going to go back to the other point. They're in his way. Brady tells you everything. He tells you that Cook's too good. Last year we couldn't really take him out, but we'd love to get the other guys more work. You got to pick something.
Yeah, you're in charge.
Yeah, you're in charge. You got to pick something. And I wonder if this year is one where, if there are blowouts, that's easy.
Right.
But if what probably happens is you're in a pressure cooker for 18 weeks and you've got close games, they have a tough schedule, would they intentionally sit Cook for, a drive here and there more often than they would have last year?
I wonder just how detailed, I'll bet it's pretty detailed, the data is on a thing like that. Like wear and tear, number of touches, number of hits. They've got a team of analysts over there. I would imagine someone's off-season job is probably already done would be to like tally, like go through like how many different categories of hits. You can delineate them any way you want, but there's probably a way that you do that and try to, I don't know, in some way, I don't want to say predict how much damage you expect him to have incurred on him, how much, just the toll the hits will take. But you've got years of running backs, you got years of information, and how their careers extended or didn't, or how their seasons following a season, how does that go? Like, is there, after all this workload, this was a thing with Barkley going into last year, right? Like he carried, it was just such a horse for Philadelphia and had the big year and the 2,000 yards and all the stuff. And like, what's going to happen? There was a lot of people that were telling you, like, fade Barkley this year. It's the year after a big year like that. And now maybe the same sort of thought should be, applied to James Cook.
Well, Barkley, to that example, in 2024 had 345 carries. So what's that? Like 22 per game? Something like that? 16 games. And 33 catches plus, so 378 for touches, plus 104 more in the playoffs. He led the playoffs in attempts, yards, touchdowns as a running back. So I'm over 500, I think. And then last year, Barkley's efficiency took a serious dip. He went from 5.8 yards per carry in 2024 to 4.1. And in the playoffs, they went right out, and he had one game. So, one example. Barkley has had a longer career than Cook.
Sure.
Cook is about 3.5 years away from Barkley's touches. And here's Barkley, who right away was drafted to be a franchise back. Cook was not. Cook was a quote, sub-back. And, he's got somewhat less mileage on him because of, like, last year was his first really big year in terms of touches.
Even how he was used in college. Like, he was not used like Saquon Barkley was used in college. So
that matters to me.
Yeah, it should. But all of that is just is a lot that I think goes into it. It's hardly, I think, a decision that they should, or I want to say would. I just don't think. Although the way Brady's talking there is like, well, he was just running so hot, we just kept it. I don't think you want to operate that way. I don't think you want to leave it to the I don't know, the vibes the coach is feeling about whether the guy's, at his peak right now. We got to keep feeding him. I think you want to be careful about overworking someone because, oftentimes in sports, the moment you realize you've been, there's bad luck. And then there's just, maybe you're asking too much of a guy. So I would expect them to go pretty hard on trying to figure out where that sweet spot is. And maybe, after a heavy year like last year, see if you can't spell him a little more often with Ty Johnson, kind of like we thought it would be last year. But of course, it didn't materialize. His touches, his carries, his receptions have been around the same. I think he had 309 for carries and 33 in the regular season. I don't have the playoff stuff in front of me. Cook.
I do.
So
he had 4 catches in the playoffs.
Okay, I think you want to be careful. Just because he proved he could do it last year, it's cumulative. There's another year here, and I doubt he's feeling the aches and pains and the wear and tear from last season. But as soon as you start getting hit again, like, I just think there's, the odometer, just keeps ticking, and eventually there's a breaking point. So I know I thought this last year, and it turned out to be dead wrong. I didn't think they would change how they used him, but they did, and he ended up leading the league in rushing. I think that's a lot to ask 2 years in a row.
2 years ago, they clinched the AFC East, if I remember right, December 1st. That's where they really did have. But they're playing for the one. The Bills, this isn't really that surprising to any team, but they haven't been able to sort of cakewalk in, they've had to grind some of these years especially. And last year was that. Last year they were in second place. So they're playing New England late. They beat them. They're keeping their hopes alive for the 1 seed. I mean, Denver ends up getting that. New England's the 2. What can you do? What do you want to hear? Okay, well, here we are, everybody. 11-4, a game out or tied. 1 seed is possible. This, and this have to happen, but we're favored. But we're going to sit James Cook. You don't want to hear that. No. Nobody's going to want to hear that. The coach is kind of – this doesn't always have to be the case, but here's Brady who's new. He's not going to take James Cook out for Ty Johnson or Ray Davis just because, he's thinking about where Cook is going to be in 3 years. Brady's not going to do that. I mean, maybe Andy Reid would. Maybe somebody who's got, all the security you could have.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And just sort of take it easy with that, but
that's why I'm saying I think he can choose to ignore it, but there should be the data should dictate what you do there. And I know it's predictive. It's not it's not factual. Oh well, this one more carry, this is the problem. There's no smoking gun like that. But again, there's decades of data available to analyze running backs and their peak efficiency and all of that. And I don't think I want the head coach just, again, sort of whimsically, he's our best guy, get him in there. I can't take him out right now. I think you want to be a little more careful than that. So we'll see how that shakes out. But it was pretty, I don't think I could get to shocking, but it was definitely surprising that his usage went as high up as it went.
It worked so well.
Because, frankly, it was something that I think it was a reason why I wasn't crazy about the extension, because I didn't think he could handle more work. But he did. And so, maybe they think they'll just, you're right to say they don't care what kind of shape they leave him in. He got his payday, and they might want to just, ride him as hard as they want for as long as he'll last. Maybe that's their methodology. I think that's short-sighted, but that could be it.
It just reminds me of talking about Allen and his rushing and how careful do you want to be? Who has more career rushes, Cook or Allen?
I'm going to say Cook.
Allen by 29.
Wow.
Longer career, but
yep.
Allen has averaged 116 rushes per year for his career and 10 touchdowns.
All right. Well, that'll get you there. Right.
I don't think he has as many catches. In fact, he has 1. And he has the 1 against San Francisco. That's not a catch, but that doesn't count as a catch.
Yeah.
He has the 1. Is it that Arizona game where Brown or somebody threw him a pass? Allen? Wasted air yards.
Those don't show up in the stats.
No. Bisons are home tonight, 6:35, or today. Hot dogs and dogs.
$2 dogs and free admission for your dog.
Yeah, you can't buy a dog. You can only buy a hot dog. I think that's probably not what
that goes. Yeah.
The Bisons are now 7 games under. When were they last good? 28-35. They host Syracuse for 6, and they are due to win one when trailing after 8 innings. 0-26. Is tonight a baseball night? No, hockey, I guess, is back.
Hockey's back tonight, yeah.
What's the over-under on Carolina-Vegas likely to be?
5.5.
5.5?
Yeah.
Over-under on...
You like how I said that like I didn't know?
I bought it. That's acting right there. Who are you, Tom Hanks?
I've got these bonus bets to use. I gotta get busy.
What about Red Sox Rays? I know you won't be watching because it's in Tampa.
Yeah, right. No, of course not.
Over-under on that game is 7.5. What about Brewers A's? Interested in that?
I don't have any action on that. I do have a baseball parlay.
You want some
for today? Yeah.
I think you want some.
No, I already did all my work. I don't need.
I want some.
I have.
You know what's going on there? The A's?
No, I guess I don't. Wait, did they? No, I don't. I saw something about them. Did they have a crazy night, like 11 home runs in their game last night?
I don't know the number of home runs, but maybe they're 29 runs.
Okay, I think that who were they playing?
Milwaukee.
I think they combined for 11 home runs last night.
Yeah. Well, because they're playing in Las Vegas this week.
Oh.
In a Coors-like environment without quite the same altitude. But it's a minor league.
Coors Field-like environment.
Yes, Coors Field-like
Coors Light environment.
Did I say Coors Light?
You did.
Oh, that's 5 letters, but that's still bad. Yes. So everybody has been expecting this week for the
fireworks.
A's to be super high scoring. It was 8. So they're facing Kyle Harrison, who has been awesome for Milwaukee. The A's were up like 8-5 in the 4th inning or 8-3 right away. Like they pounded them. Mm-hmm. The A's. I mean, this guy has been an absolute A1 starter. Then he goes to Vegas and pitches against the A's and gets rocked.
Right.
The game went to the 10th, 10-10. And each team scored 4 in the 10th.
Holy cow.
And then Milwaukee ends up winning 15-14. Tonight's total is 13 runs.
That's a number.
Almost double the
right.
The Red Sox game.
Yeah.
Most of them around 8.5. And it's in Vegas, so you could maybe find a parlay Golden Knights A's total goals/runs.
Yep.
A little faster than they used to be.
I got out of that. I had it on to start. I think it's in Cleveland, right? They're in Cleveland. So they are 6:30 or 6:40 maybe is the official first pitch time. And I had that on, and both teams I think scored 3 real early, maybe even in the first. And then I got wrong.
Yanks?
Yeah, I thought
Yanks did.
Yeah, I thought Cleveland tied them right back up.
They caught up pretty soon.
Okay,
not right away.
Okay,
they had the lead. It was a great game. They had the lead, and then Yanks tied it in the 8th. Then the 10th inning was the killer for Cleveland.
I too like the earlier. I mean, anything that you want to start anything earlier would give me a chance at really getting the. What I find happening now, the combination of the earlier start time with the rules that have sped games up, I often get to like 8:30 and think, or 9 o'clock, and think like, oh, let me go see the end of some baseball games, and they're all over.
Yeah,
it's like they're 2.5 hour games, and okay.
I was listening. My daughter and I drove to her lacrosse, and it was about 40 minutes each way, and I was listening to the Cleveland broadcast. That's how I know what happened in that game. And Tom Hamilton said, Cleveland announcer, that he thinks batters are getting more leeway just kind of walking around between pitches. Remember when they did that? Didn't they have to stay in the box? Like you had to keep a foot in the box or something?
Right, yeah. You get like a timeout.
You get one of those?
Yeah, but
he thinks, I'm not sure if time of game is going up. He seemed to think it is. That's something you could check. But that maybe that's why, or that's because umpires are letting batters just sort of like fiddle around there more than they had been the last year or two.
Well, we don't want that.
I don't want that.
Let's not backslide.
I don't want that, but I don't want you to have to miss these games because they go too fast.
I can adapt. I mean, that's just simple. I need to think of it at 8:30, not 9 o'clock. Is all that needs to happen there.
Yeah, I guess.
I probably will catch what I'm looking for.
Back to the Bills after the break. 803-0550. What are you feeling? Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. This is WGR.
Mandatory minicamp is underway for the Buffalo Bills. Some good news right off the bat. Head coach Joe Brady does confirm every Bills player is in attendance. But there is some injury news. Linebacker Dorian Williams dealing with an undisclosed one, and Brady says the hope is that he'll be ready for training camp, but we're not going into detail on if this injury was the same one suffered in the division round versus Denver or was picked up in the offseason. And with practice done and over with, quarterback Josh Allen, he is currently speaking with the media. We'll get more on today when Sal Capaccio joins the show in just about an hour at 5 o'clock. Around the rest of the league, Adam Schefter saying today that while nothing is official, he does believe it is more likely than not Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to play for the Rams. And speaking of L.A., it was reported today that left tackle Alaric Jackson was arrested on Monday for a felony domestic violence charge. And two-time All-Pro guard Joel Bitonio announced his retirement after 12 seasons today. All of those 12 seasons were with the Cleveland Browns. Stanley Cup Finals back in action tonight. Game 4 in Vegas at 8 o'clock. Golden Knights up 2-1 over Carolina. Coverage right here on WGR is going to begin about a half hour before puck drop at 7:30. And then in baseball, Bisons are back home. They host Syracuse at 6:35. That game can be heard on our sister station, the Bet 1520. Then in the majors, Yankees are at the Guardians at 6:40. The Jays host Philly at 7:07. And then at 7:10, the Mets, they host St. Louis. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
Hey, put a little. I never get this line out the first time. It's not even good. Hey, put a little bit more in there, cowboy.
And the Bulldog.
What's your degree in?
Kicking ass and taking names.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Just to paint the picture, which unlike the Yankees radio broadcast, we do not have a sponsor for. They have a sponsor for painting the picture with words. Here comes the game. We're not that good.
No, not yet.
It's right between. It's a Tuesday. It's right between. Well, the World Cup is on Thursday. That's what I'm trying to frame here. The World Cup, this is why we don't have a sponsor for painting the picture. What kind of picture is this? The World Cup starts on Thursday afternoon. Cannot wait. I'm going to watch the hell out of it.
Paint your own picture.
Yeah, you decide. 6 weeks of that. I mean, I want afternoons and some late nights. There'll be, I think Australia has a game at midnight our time to serve their fans.
Yeah.
And we can play that out west. It's 9 o'clock out west. That's doable. Maybe we're going to Australia with the NFL, so nice little trade-off. And then there are going to be games at noon and 1. None in the morning probably, maybe 11 at some point, but bring it on. Can't wait. It's not a golf day. Golf is Thursday through Sunday, as you probably know.
We already talked about no day baseball.
Right. There's no day baseball. What we've got today is a little bit of a challenge to find an afternoon sports watch. And Bulldog has chosen for us Australian rules football. And I think that's a great choice.
Well, you encouraged me to click it.
Did I?
Yeah.
You were afraid of the UFL.
Well, I definitely, yeah. We had a.
You were against that.
We had a
idea.
Fox Sports World Cup preview show on, which wasn't super informative or helpful to us because we had it on with no sound.
Right. I didn't get anything from
it. Like you can watch a game with no sound. We do it all the time in here. But yeah, this anyway. But that was ending at 4, and here comes the UFL. I'm like, just get me out of here. I don't want it on the TV. So I started. I mean, offends is strong. I just don't care. I just assume turn the TV off, which is maybe what I was about to do. I started surfing down from Fox Sports 1 or 2 or whatever this World Cup thing was on, and yeah, we saw AFL. I'm like, oh well, what is that? And you said Australian rules football. It's fun.
Yes.
And I went, okay, well, fun. I'm here for fun. I don't want to. I'm not turning that on. Mike said it's fun. So I'll turn it on.
Appreciate that.
Is that the one where the officials do the thing where when there's a certain scoring play, they step to the end line and do the double point?
They do the double point.
Love the double point.
I do too. I use it.
I'm a big fan of the double point.
I stagger mine, though.
Oh.
Mine is a Filipponi ripoff. I asked him once if I got that from him, and he said he thought so. And you know that move?
No, I'm not sure I know what you mean.
This is really why you want to be watching the show these days and not just listening to it. Walk in a room, see your friend.
Give everybody a minute to go find YouTube. We'll wait.
It'll be a clip.
Anyway, go ahead.
walk in a room, there's your friend across the room, you go. The double point, you got to stagger it.
That isn't Andrew. When you said stagger, I thought you meant one and then the other. But you're the angle of the hands is the key there.
How do you describe this?
That staggered. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
They're at the same time.
Right.
But they're not lined up.
Right. Yeah.
That's the double point. Okay. I love these refs.
And I can totally see Andrew doing that, by the way.
Yeah, walks in a room, sees you.
Yeah.
He's tall.
Yep.
Like yourself, you can pull that off over people's heads. But I liked this sport in the day.
The early day when there wasn't
ESPN,
everything on all the time. There would be, you go stop in a bar at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday, and there would be Australian rules football on.
Well, maybe. For me, no. For me, it's back when you had 3 channels and then ESPN and What's On. And they didn't have 18 unwatchable panel shows.
Mm-hmm.
So late weekend nights, it'd be this certain time of year. And you could watch, Carleton and Collingwood battle it out. And even maybe catch the grand final. Remember I played in that fantasy league in this sport a couple of years ago. Brody Grundy.
That was
it's been a few years.
Go with a few. It's more like a couple of decades.
No, it's maybe 5 years ago.
Get out of here! 5 years.
When I played Australian rules football fantasy,
I don't think
it's like 5 years ago.
I don't think you had children when you played Australian.
No,
rules
I did.
Fantasy football. Really?
I did. It wasn't. It might not have been.
It
wasn't 10.
I must be conflating, confusing some other.
It might have been during COVID.
Some other.
I don't know. But I didn't know anything. Yeah. It was a guy I know locally, and then 8 people from Australia in the 10-team league, and I won the first pick on a draw, and you got to take Brody Grundy. So I did. I wonder what happened to that guy, Brody Grundy.
See, this is
get him over the Bills.
Most everything now turns out to be way longer ago than I think it was, because I think that's something. It's a little trick I think you do to yourself. I think to avoid the specter of how quick the time is going by and how old you're getting. You just think well, that wasn't that long ago. Oh yeah, it was. In this case, I've flipped that. I'm thinking this was a long time ago, and you're saying with authority that it was much.
Well, I know I lived
in
my current house, so it couldn't have been more than that long.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been that long ago. But we have Trista coming up at 4:30. Sal will join us at 5. Media availability. Josh Allen, I guess, speaking now. We'll see what Sal takes away from it. There was a Josh Allen line. I haven't talked to Tyler about it yet. Maybe we should call Tyler. He wrote it up.
Yep.
And a sit down with Allen a week or so ago.
Oh, I know which line you're. There were actually 2 quotes in there that were. The one is more worth talking about.
Before you bringing them up, because we haven't talked about it on the air yet. Is it something where he would be questioned about it today?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he could be.
Okay, so what is it? You have it?
Yes. This is from Tyler's big, long feature on the new, Josh, newly married and baby and whatever. I'm going to play football how I know how to play it until I can't, Allen says. And when I can't play it the way I want to play it, it's probably when I'm done. But hopefully that's still quite some time.
So what he's probably saying is to be the machine that he is, physically.
Mm-hmm.
And when that gets away from him, maybe it comes part and parcel with the rest of his game, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just that he's not going to be able to run over guys anymore. Then maybe that's the ball game for him.
I mean, it certainly is a way that you can. I think, literally, that's what he's saying. I think, but the thing is, we're assuming what he means by the way I want to play. It means all that, which I assume that's what it means. I've played a certain way since I got here, and this is the running part of it. And if I can't do that, then that will tell me it's time for me to stop. That, I think, is certainly a place you could land. It maybe even is a place you should land.
I think the big one
in that quote.
Sorry, I mean, the big X factor in this is whether they win a title first, especially for a quarterback, by far. And he said a lot about how important that is to him.
That was the other quote. I love the quote. It's the last great sports story or something. I mean, it's very dramatic, but it
I like it too.
It was cool to hear it or read it from him, because that's a lot of us might feel that way. We're not like putting it on a flag or a pennant or anything, but we're compelled to ffeel like the Bills are a compelling story. Buffalo as a non-championship town is compelling, and I don't know, it's one of those things that tells you Allen, and this is not news to anyone, that he gets us. He gets the lay of the land here. He understands this in a way that maybe a lot of guys don't maybe understand the place they're playing.
Yeah, there's been. Correct me if you can think of an example. There's been no equivocation from him ever about his loyalties. I mean, sometimes you hear it, it's veiled, and it makes you wonder. It sends everybody into a tizzy, depending on the status of the player. Is like with Lamar Jackson. I mean, he almost got out of there, and then there are times when it's like might not be fair to him. But you know the kind of thing I'm talking about, where a quarterback making tens of millions of dollars a year would say something like, we got to see if we're still committed, or
right.
what else is going to happen. I think it may be hockey players for this with the Sabres over the years, guys that said without saying it that they really weren't they weren't buying in.
Right.
And I don't have any memory of Allen even suggesting that. There's a coaching change, and this offseason would be a time where he could do it, but that hasn't happened. I've kind of assumed that he's into this move, or else it wouldn't have happened. But I don't know that.
Right.
That's saying a lot. It's almost like saying that he drafts the players, which I've said a few times.
Right.
The first-round picks.
Yeah. Right.
And the Bills kind of for a while, Brandon Beane for a while was like, oh, yeah, he texts me 100 mock drafts a week. No, he doesn't. But, we like that you want to be real about it and say that Allen is into the draft, but we don't want to think, I'm not speaking for everyone, that he's actually pulling the trigger.
Yeah, no, right.
Anyway, he has...
I've always taken that as Beane wanting us to know. It's very patronizing to me. Allen loves the pick. Of course, he's on board with it. That it's exaggerating how much he loves the pick. Is what Beane, to me, is doing there to make us like it. Oh, Josh likes it. Of course, I like it too. And I think it's pretty idiotic.
It's Kincaid and Coleman.
Yeah.
Those are the two examples. Kincaid and Coleman, where he was all excited about, this is the guy he wanted. Anyway, he's never cracked the door open at all for anything about serious questions about their chances. And that continues, to my knowledge, in an offseason where they have a new coach. So that's great.
Yep.
But to me, not knowing him, I completely could believe that. I might even predict it, that there'll be a shelf life. This is Cam Newton. He's often been compared to Cam Newton, and then suddenly Cam Newton couldn't play at all. And I don't know. I mean, we're not there, hopefully, but I could see a guy like this feeling like, a Lindros or somebody, where it's just like, I mean, it burned out quickly. And for him, unlike a hockey player or, other positions in football, the legacy thing is so big for a championship. And there could come a time in 5 years or something, or even less, where that is a really tough one. He'll have a young family, as he already does, and man, how can we win a championship this year? Do I have one more year of, this has been countless athletes over the course of time. Do I have one more of these in me to be able to accomplish this one thing? It's Elway. Elway, I don't know that Elway was ever pondering giving up on football. I never heard that I remember, but he hung in there. And he played this kind of way.
Yeah,
and he won.
He was not at all the athlete that he had been earlier in his career, but he figured out a way to keep going, and that's that to me is the part of this quote. Again, I'm going to play football how I know to play it until I can't, And when I can't play it the way I want to play it, it's probably when I'm done. That also, to me, is I'm venturing pretty far out here, I think. But that's something a 30-year-old person says. You know, like, if you love it so much, and this is where I think the you mentioned a very key element here, like, do they win one? Like, is there one on the shelf and his powers start to dissipate? However slowly, I think we want to say hopefully, or however suddenly they may. And if he's accomplished the goal, right? There's a banner, there was a parade, they had the whole thing. Like, you know what? I can't play the way I was playing 5 years ago anymore, and therefore it's not that much fun anymore. And we got a Super Bowl out of it. I'm done.
He's tied up, and I don't mean that in a bad way, in like these other endeavors where financially he can go anytime he wants.
Right. But if they don't win one, that's where I think where I'm venturing out into the wilderness a little bit here is like, that's a 30-year-old person telling you, I don't want to do this when I can't do it the way I'm doing it right now. But then the 35 person walks into the room and like, yeah, they still pay me like $60 million a year, and it's awesome, and my kids can watch me now. They're taking it in, as opposed to like if they were to win this year or next year, like maybe they'll have a second child by then, but whatever. Like the kids are so little, they never really got to see daddy play, right? So if you don't win one, and I got to change how I play. I'm a little more pocket guy. I don't think he'll ever play without running to some extent, but it just won't be as lethal as it has been. And I could just as soon see him being asked about this quote in 5 years when the running totals are more modest and it's more like just short yardage stuff or hardly anything at all as far as designed runs go. And like, well, yeah, this is, father time. I'm here. I'm still playing at a high level from the pocket. I'm more of a more surgical now than I am, thunder and lightning, say. So like there's that, but he didn't say any of that. I'm just speaking as someone who, has aged. The things that you don't think you'll want to do anymore, if you really enjoy them and love them, and if they, to some extent, even define who you are, you find a way to keep going. You just, the mind and the body sort of find a way to get through that. But no, I mean, when you, so that's one, that's an alternative reality to the quote that, again, is, I'm imagining it. The quote itself is, I thought we were like halfway through, and now you're maybe telling me we're like closer to the end than I'd like to be. Whoa, which is a little jarring. I think this is the first time I've ever, or at least this certainly is the only time I can recall, him talking about the end, like pondering a conclusion of any kind. Like it's just been entirely open-ended, which is right. I mean, he's in his 20s. They're trying to climb the hill, and
now 30 with a child.
With a child, you're a little more reflective.
New stadium.
You can sort of see,
a wife and a child. I mean, his marriage isn't that.
That's right.
Long ago.
Pretty new. It was just this off season before, I think. So yeah, I mean, you can start to see the end, but even still, him acknowledging it was a little jarring to me to read that in Tyler's piece.
Elway only serves you so well as a comp. We both grew up watching him. You loved him. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. But the most yards in a season he ever ran for in 16 seasons is 304, which is far less than Allen's lowest total.
Mm-hmm.
More than 100 yards less than Allen's lowest total as a rusher. Elway rushed for a total of 33 touchdowns in 16 years. Allen has rushed for 51 in the last 3 years. 41, sorry. 41. Still more. Yeah. 41. Yeah. 79 for his career, which is up there with, as I love this stat so much, I say it all the time, it's up there with the greatest running backs, some of the greatest running backs you've ever seen.
Right.
It's more than OJ, more than Thurman, right? 79 rushing touchdowns. So Elway was a great runner, for a quarterback at least, and he was willing, but he wasn't this guy where he wasn't. I mean, I think of it more, this might not be exactly right. I think of it more as kind of in desperate situations.
Yeah.
He could do it.
Like scrambling. Like I don't want to get too far down the road, like trying to remember the 80s, but I don't think any quarterbacks in the 80s had a lot of design. The amount of designed runs, it's almost that the Bills have had and the Ravens have had with their, and there are other Michael Vick. So like the era that preceded, say, Michael Vick and Randall Cunningham's a contemporary.
I'm looking him up right now.
And I want to look. I was on my way before I got lost in this point to go check Steve Young's career rushing.
Okay,
because that's the other guy from that era that was, known as someone who ran a lot.
Cunningham had maybe 7 years where he ran like twice as often as Elway did or more.
Yeah.
He had a 942-yard year rushing, 1990, the year the Bills played them in Buffalo, the Barnett game. Is that the Barnett game? Fred Barnett? Does that work for you? That one play?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Steve Young's career high rushing 92, 537 yards. There's a few years in the 400s, but never more than that. So I mean, for that era, that was a lot. But like, it feels to me like as much as football, traditional football, was pushing against the quarterback. I mean, we're Josh Allen's draft. Lamar Jackson was going to have to change positions because he couldn't play quarterback.
One person said
that. One person said that. I feel like this era, sort of with how good these guys were at it and how valuable it became to the teams, it sort of, whether teams were unwilling or not, they just sort of got out of the way. Like, all right, this guy's excellent at this. It helps us a lot. We're going to do it. We're going to lean into it. And I don't recall anyone really having that much of that in like Elway, Steve Young times.
Good little Randall Cunningham trivia. He won his last start in 2001. Okay, well, that's not that special. A lot of guys did. His last touchdown pass was thrown to Shannon Sharp.
Okay.
So what team is that, you might be thinking? Like, when did Randall Cunningham play with Shannon Sharp? Well, it's 2001. Baltimore. Cunningham's last team was Baltimore. Did you know that? Would you have guessed that without Shannon Sharp? Good for you.
No, I don't think I would have. Shannon Sharp, I remember Shannon Sharp in Baltimore. For some reason, that sounded familiar to me. Randall Cunningham there did not, but when you paired him up, that got me home.
All right. And I don't know, he never played again after this game. Mid-season in Pittsburgh, the Ravens won it, and I don't know if he got hurt in this game. Was he pulled?
Sorry.
No, he wasn't pulled.
While we're there, and we still have a minute or two. So what year did he rush for 900 and whatever yards? 90.
Cunningham.
All right. How long does it take? He's in Minnesota. Does he run for 100 yards in Minnesota?
Barely.
Right.
In 98, that great team, 132.
Yeah. So like
pocket passer.
There's what you're, I guess, hoping for age curve wise with Allen. I mean, we'd all love him to never lose this prowess that he has to run as awesomely as he does, but it's just not sustainable for, if he's going to play into his mid to late 30s or even try to get to 40. It's not going to happen. So that's what you need, like age 35 to 40 if he's playing, to sort of look like. You change your game.
I love looking up Randall Cunningham stuff.
Like, I wonder if Randall Cunningham ever in like 1992, a couple of years after rushing for almost 1,000 yards as a quarterback, ever said, if I can't play like this, I'm not playing anymore.
91, he missed the whole year.
And then he's in Minnesota not running at all.
I don't know if it was a preseason game, but I remember the news that like he was out for the year, Cunningham, 91. That Shannon Sharp trivia is not the best Randall Cunningham trivia. The best Randall Cunningham trivia that I know of is that he was Kenny Mayne's backup at UNLV.
Right. That's good.
Right?
Yep. Kenny
Mayne. Trista Crick. A couple of the greats.
Trista's star is on the... I don't even know if it's on the rise. Maybe it's it's there.
We'll talk about the NBA and what TV shows we should all be watching with Trista, assuming she still has time for it. Right. She's nice to make time for us. We'll have her with us after the update. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR. Never a bad time to
p.m. Around the rest of the league, Adam Schefter saying today that while nothing is official, he does believe it is more likely than not Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to play for the Rams. Speaking of LA, it was reported today that left tackle Alec Jackson was arrested on Monday for felony domestic violence charges. And two-time All-Pro guard Joel Bitonio announced his retirement after 12 seasons in the NFL, all of which were with the Cleveland Browns. Stanley Cup Finals are back in action tonight. Game 4 in Vegas at 8 o'clock. Golden Knights are up 2-1 on Carolina. Coverage right here on WGR. We'll start a half hour before at 7:30. And then in baseball, Bison's back home. They host Syracuse at 6:35. And that game can be heard over on our sister station, the Bet 1520. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Brunson's looked like they're going to lob it. Nope. Anunoby, corner three, fires away. Shot's no good. And the Spurs win. What a response from San Antonio. They do it again. An inspiring road win. And they are right back in the series. The Knicks lead cut 2-1.
Mike Breen, Trista Crick in a moment. Try to just, I'm not sure you want to be like me, but one phrase you hear all the time that I prefer not to use is that they're back in it. Because if they were to win to be back in it, that means they were in it. They're back. He didn't say that, by the way. I just already had that in my head. Yeah. But if they got back in it by scoring a goal down 2-0 or winning a game down 2-0, well, I guess that means they were in it already, and they're still in it.
Right. I definitely don't want to be like you in this instance because I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You weren't out of it, is all.
Well, right.
You're not. It's not over till it's over.
Right. Okay.
That's all.
All right. Because you were in it at the start. Scoreless game. You're in it. Yeah.
You were in it down 2-0.
Yeah.
Apparently, Carolina was in it down 4-0.
Yeah.
In Game 3. Were they back in it? No, they were in it. Got to let it play out.
They seem pretty dead.
I watch a lot of poker, but they weren't. I watch a lot of poker, and sometimes when somebody's way down, the chips are in, and we're going to the river, and somebody's way down in the hand, they will reach out to shake hands with the person, which I think is kind of like a move, to congratulate them before the hand is over. And it's never comfortable to not shake someone's hand when they stick their hand out in front of you. But I would not want to do that. Not yet. That could be the 8 of spades. We don't know. All right, there's my speech for today. Trista Crick with us, new hero of the Dan Le Batard Show. Heat check. We knew her. Heat check goes. We go back as far as heat check.
Yeah, TK Pucks. Like we go way back, and you're on my Twitter feed every morning. Like, are you hosting that show now? Like, are you replacing Le Batard? What's going on, Trista?
That's a great question. No, not replacing him. I think just making him feel a little more uncomfortable with all of my Trista-isms, right? Which is, I think, a bit of a good thing and probably a bit of a bad thing.
Who is on whose tree, if you'll pardon the probably wrong grammar? Like, can we? I don't think we deserve to have any claim to you. Your fame did not really.
No, we did not.
We
did not springboard you anywhere.
Can we?
No.
Can we be on your tree though? Maybe. Do you have? I don't know if you can do that by asking. Not sure of the rules here.
It's awkward now.
I think I'm in your tree. Yeah, I think I'm in the WGR Buffalo Rochester tree. Also, congratulations with a massive Titan-esque level merger with Rochester.
Yes. So we're on their tree and they're on our tree. Everybody. I don't know if you can be on each other's trees.
I think our ecosystem is all one tree, one world, one earth.
Let's go.
Oh, I love the spirit of this.
We got to start with the finals. Lucky timing. I wanted to talk to you, and I'm sure Bulldog likewise, just to see what TV shows you're watching, although you might not have time for that anymore. But we're right in the middle of the finals. San Antonio was in it, wins a close game. What do you expect from here?
Oh, more excitement. I think now that we've got Wemby playing in the paint more, and we've got, Steph Castle not thinking as much. We've got him going directly to the basket with force. We've got Dylan Harper doing the same. I think, what you can say if you're Mitch Johnson is like, listen, we had a big lead in game 1, and we blew it. And we had an opportunity to win game 2, and there were some crucial mistakes where we blew that game. And now we've won game 3. And so, if they beat us twice at our crib, there's no situation that makes it impossible for us to take 2 in Madison Square Garden. Yes, there's a legacy. Yes, it's so-and-so the most difficult place to play, one of the best home court advantages. But guess what? We just got one. Let's get a second one. Let's go back home, back with home court advantage. And so what I expect is just more of the same adjustments. And I am very curious about how New York's offensive flow is going to go, how they make sure that Karl Anthony Towns is in the mix and he's facilitating, how you stop Jalen Brunson from dribbling the ball a bajillion times and making it super easy for Wemby to, go back to where he wants to roam instead of being forced into the corner and defending somebody else. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating. That game was so critical because otherwise I think maybe we get to a sweep and maybe the soul gets stolen out of San Antonio. And now I feel like they know they have life. They know that they take these huge leads to start the game every single time. They did it against OKC. They've done it against now New York in 3 straight games. It's like just hold on to the lead. And yes, it's a game of runs, and yes, you miss shots. But like if I'm the Spurs, I'm like, we have them.
Plus 160 to do it. You sound like you're there. Last night, not a student of the series myself, but interesting that San Antonio is only plus 2. My friend got him at 1.5 even, was willing, so that seemed like a good sign for them. The game was so close. I don't know how much you can really say like that, like you knew anything, but, it ended up being the right side.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, it could have gone either way for sure. Like, when you have that short of a number, you have to say to yourself, probably don't bet it. It's probably time to just bet finals MVP or bet player props or, bet some other sport because it's just Vegas is really sharp right now. And you've gotten, for example, the New York Knicks were a 7.5-point favorite over Cleveland in game 1. They were down 22 with 7 minutes to go, excuse me. And they did cover that number, which is absolutely absurd. And so for me, at this point, in this juncture, the finals are not a great place to be putting my money, except for, the 35-1 Karl Anthony Towns finals MVP ticket that I recommended folks take prior to starting the finals.
Interesting. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of that story from Ken Burns' baseball, Bulldog, where the Mays catch and the pitcher's name is Don Little and Wirtz hits the ball 500 feet, but it's an out. And the manager comes to take him out and the pitcher says to the guy coming in, "I got my man." I was right. I had the Knicks minus 7.5 in game. I was right.
Yeah, I got it.
Good enough for me.
Tristan, I don't want to get too into the weeds on the officiating because, you've got fan bases all freaking out about this should have been a flagrant and this shouldn't have been and whatever. What was the deal with the substitution, that play? How did you see that? Because I was watching and it seemed like the announcers didn't know really what the heck was happening. And how did that all get explained if it did? Because
it didn't.
Okay.
I don't think it ever did. I don't think anybody really knew what was going on. I know that they were trying to get an opportunity to have a longer period to review it, and so that substitution came in for that. But it didn't make a whole lot of sense then, and I never got any real guidance or explanation of it since.
As it turned out, it didn't end up being that impact because San Antonio still won the game. But I wondered if you had this thought watching it, because there was a sequence that could have been very important. San Antonio had a 7-point lead at the time, and Wembanyama nails a three from 5 or 6 feet past the line, right?
Yes.
And there's contact there, and San Antonio they're going to go to the line, but they call timeout there, right? I think there was a break, and I wonder if they had just kept going, if New York would have thought to challenge, because they challenged for an offensive foul there. The 3 came down, and I thought maybe San Antonio shouldn't have tried. If I have the timing right, I swear I think there was a TV timeout in there. If it just came because it was coming and they didn't call for it, so be it. But I thought that could have been a pretty big sequence.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think also we've seen loose ball fouls away from the ball get called when an offensive player is shooting the ball. So it was like, the timing in terms of when Wemby released the ball from his hand and when Keldon Johnson made the shove was really fascinating. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I agree. I mean, all these little decisions, I couldn't figure out whether it was a TV timeout or whether it was a Knicks timeout. But I was also, doing a bunch of other things at the same time. So it wasn't like locked in on whose timeout was what. But you're 100% right. Like these small decisions make a huge difference, and that ended up being, a 4-point swing at the least.
Right.
Did you have any idea, by the way, when Trista started to congratulate us for something, what it was going to be? I thought it might have been about the Sabres, or it might have been some random tweet that she pulled about, you're watching this new show on Apple. I did not have any idea where that was going, but the sentiment was very sweet.
I went on Rochester today.
You did?
I just so happened to go on to Rochester today with Gene. And so when I was listening to the program behind when I was waiting on hold, it was like you're listening to WGR Rochester, and Sal Capaccio's show comes on at this time, and we've got Gene's show at this time, and then we got Schopp and the Bulldog at this time. And I was like, oh, damn, we got a full-scale merger on our hands, and we got some of my favorite people on one station now.
So kind. First Rochester, next, who knows? The world, I guess, is the phrase. Can I ask about Mom?
I'm going to Cannes next week. Speaking of the world.
You're going to Cannes? You're going to France?
I'm going to Cannes, France, Cannes Lions. Our crew at the Daily W, or some of us, are going to go and hobnob and put our linens on. And I've shopped way too much for French-related items. And I'm looking at a bike rental so that I can get from Antibes to Cannes every day. I don't know how I'll get back because I'm certainly not going to do it at midnight. Maybe I'll just leave the bike there down in Cannes. I haven't thought it all through, guys. And I don't know how I'm going to do it in some rattan slides either, but here we are. So, yeah, it should be a very fun time. I've never been to Cannes. I've never been to the south of France. A fun fact, the last time I had scheduled to go to the south of France, I found out that my mom's basement that I grew up in, this house, had mold damage, and I needed to spend the whole summer in Portland, which was the first domino to me living here. So it all comes full circle.
French-related items.
French-related items. Put it on the list of possible fantasy football team names.
French-related, yeah, French laundry.
French laundry. Get to that place someday if you can. How's Mom?
Mom is good. Mom is on the mend. We've gotten a bunch of house stuff already done. We've got garden fights happening daily. One of her yard umbrellas has broken with the wind, so I need to go to Lowe's today and pick up her Mother's Day present, which, we're weeks in arrears of that. But we need to pick up the umbrella. We need to pick up some other items for Mother's Day for her and hopefully sort that out. Apparently we have like 75 green pepper plants because she grew them from seed. So we're giving them away. If anyone listening is living or residing in Portland, we've got pepper plants galore. We probably have too many tomato plants. We have probably too many green bean plants because I was buying 2, but they come in packs of 4. These are all the things that we struggle with daily in terms of art.
Don't rule out that someone will reach out to you about this from this conversation. I feel like your mom...
Yeah, we'd love to give them away.
Your mom is on our tree. Not often is the person on the tree someone who's never been on your show, but I think we have more of a hand in her fame than in Trista's.
It's true. And she's like such a momager, too. She's like, the joke would have really landed much better if you would have started it with this. I'm like, oh, my God.
Love that. Well, you're probably not dabbling in football yet, I'm guessing, with all that you're doing.
Not yet. I am excited. I've become a bit of I would say like a low-key Carolina Panthers fan.
Oh.
How did this happen?
So a friend of mine started working, and actually just a friend of show, Eric Eager, started working for the Panthers. And so I've been keeping my eye on all of the strategic moves that they make. And you know what? You end up having a fun story like they had. They won the division, which I actually placed the bet on early on in the season, gave that out. Yeah, they're on the upswing. They're a fun little cute team. We'll see what happens with Bryce Young's extension. But yeah, we've got little Cowboys that I'm obviously always keeping my eye out on. The A.J. Brown trade has piqued my interest, even though we've known that was going to happen for probably 4 to 6 months now. Yeah. But it did happen. And obviously everything on the periphery of the NFL, which is all of the scandals and extramarital relations. I've had my eye on that as well.
Did you say Eric Eager? Did you mean Eric Eager?
Yeah, she said Eric Eager.
You did? Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
We
She
know
said
Eric.
friend of the show, I think she mentioned.
Yeah, friend of the show.
I miss talking to him. It's different now.
I know. He wants,
great.
he's so, you can tell he so very wants to still be in the content game, but he can't be.
I try to get my Eric Eager, intel from Matt Collar. Maybe I'll try you for this next time.
Oh, yeah, funnel it right through. I'll let him know this is from Schopp.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you again. Enjoy France.
You too. Talk soon.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to France. But
Not now.
I would.
But, some other time.
Sal coming up at 5. Bills at practice today, and there was much said. We will have Sal on here coming up soon. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR. Time is short. Sal coming up. Let's say you're Sneaky Joe, and you made a bet.
Great.
You made a bet
loser.
on Ryan Tannehill to not win a Super Bowl ever for $10. What's the cash out right now? What are they offering you to take the money? Your bet was for $10. $9 and what?
Yeah.
$9.99? Is it that much? What is the cash out on the Tannehill bet?
I want it to be $8.73.
Would Joe take $9? I mean, it's $9. It's not even a sandwich anymore, hardly.
No.
I'm just saying this to be funny.
Yeah,
I'm not going to offer Joe $9.
I know you're not. No.
I'm going to pay him $10. I am waving the white flag on Tannehill.
Yeah, there's no way that he's taking a buyout, whatever it is. Like
no.
Yeah,
he wants to wait 5 more years for maybe whether Ryan Tannehill will retire.
He's home free.
Is it even over when he retires? Couldn't I claim? Well, you don't know if he's going to come back. He's got to be pretty fresh.
Yeah, you got to pay the kid his money.
I'm willing to.
Yeah. He's never going to call you for it. I don't think they look at this thing because the stuff. I make this point whenever we talk about this thing. You know how I am. Like stuff on there
it drives me nuts.
That's expired.
Me too.
Makes me insane.
I know. That's why I want to settle this.
Right.
In defeat.
That's got to get out of there.
Even though officially I don't need to do that yet. He pays me $200 if Tannehill actually does win a Super Bowl.
Right.
That was the thinking there. Quote thinking. But yeah, I want some new space up there. And then maybe we use it.
Yeah, I would be happy to use it.
All right. Look for your money, Joe.
What up there is still good?
Hardly anything. Yeah. Sal Capaccio next.
Way for the Buffalo Bills, and day one is in the books. We did get some good news right off the bat as head coach Joe Brady did speak with the media before practice. He confirmed every Bills player was in attendance, but there are some injuries. Linebacker Dorian Williams is dealing with an undisclosed one, but during practice he was seen with crutches. Also missing practice today, Spencer Brown, Cole Bishop, and Skylar Bell. We'll get more on today. Stay tuned. Sal Capaccio does join the show next. Around the rest of the league, Adam Schefter saying today that while nothing is official, he does believe it is more likely than not Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to play for the Rams. And speaking of LA, it was reported today that left tackle Alaric Jackson was arrested on Monday for felony domestic violence charges, and two-time All-Pro guard Joel Bitonio announced his retirement after 12 seasons in the league, all of which were with the Cleveland Browns. Stanley Cup Finals are back in action tonight. Game 4 in Las Vegas at 8 o'clock. Golden Knights up 2-1 in that series over Carolina. Coverage right here on WGR will begin a half hour before puck drop at 7:30. Then in baseball, Bison's back home. They host Syracuse at 6:35, and that game can be heard on our sister station, the Bet 1520. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
World Cup Survivor is out there? How did I not know that? Why wouldn't it be? If it's the biggest sporting event in the world, anything I'm familiar with from my life experience following sports would exist probably. Fantasy, DFS, I know there's that. I got Davis tonight. He'll talk about that, and then we'll get in trouble because it's not about fantasy football. But World Cup Survivor, absolutely, sign me up.
I think that's what I'm in.
You're in this?
Not that, but I'm in a World Cup survivor pool.
You are?
That's Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Korea.
South Korea. You mentioned that.
Yeah,
that's what that is. Like one team a day. Because that's tomorrow. That's Thursday and Friday.
No. Then that's not what I'm in. No, it can't be right.
No, you were in something else.
Yeah. It's just a pool.
Survivor usually means one.
Yeah, I don't have to do. I'm not doing.
Lose you out.
So I was just eager to fit in. Like, I'm the kid that doesn't have the I've got the knockoff clogs, not the Bastard clogs. I'm just trying to be cool and try to squeeze my way into the Survivor streets. No, I'm just in a regular.
There's still time. I think I want to play. Sal Capaccio with us now on the West Her Hotline. Sal, what kind of day have you had?
Busy one, very packed. This will be our life, gentlemen, pretty much Wednesdays and Thursdays. I guess not as much Wednesdays and Thursdays this year because the Bills don't play as many Sundays, but when they play on Sundays, this will be our life, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Joe Brady having a later practice than what Sean McDermott had today was an example. Like, he spoke at 1:45. The team was on the field at 2:15. They wrapped up at about 4. I literally just walked into Studio Capaccio in Buffalo, got home, and I'm doing this now. This is what it's going to be like compared to the last 9 years of having practices at 12:30 p.m., and then you're done by 2:30, and then you have a little time to kind of get everything done. So it definitely is going to be an adjustment.
Do we need to move the time of our show, maybe, to 10,
maybe,
11?
Sure, you can do that. Yeah.
Catch you before all this, although.
It's, but.
New time in the corner on the YouTube screen. New time.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Value added.
But with so many non-Sunday games, I don't know. It's a moving target anyway, right? It always is with us and with them playing, but when they have their normal weekly practice schedule, it's going to look much more like this than it would be under Sean McDermott, which is to say just later in the day.
Has Brady been asked about this preference? Because it makes sense that they're doing it during minicamp, because I'd already heard that it looks like training camp practices are going to be more in the afternoon, whereas McDermott was always kind of first thing in the morning. That's not the case?
No, training camp is going to be early in the day from what
okay.
Earlier even.
I heard wrong. Wow. Okay. I heard wrong then. All right. Well, then that sort of torpedoes the question about Brady having a preference for the afternoon versus the morning.
Well, we did not ask him today specifically because we didn't really know, officially, and it's not official until everything comes out. But
right.
My sense is just because they're going to have meetings. sports science, weightlifting. It just really, lots of teams do it this way. The Patriots have later practices.
Yep.
You know, a lot of times for us in the media, we're just wondering, like, when are we going to talk to people? Are we going to get people before practice, after practice? When do we do that, right?
Right.
I'll tell you, if you work in the TV industry, you're loving this change because you can be down there and just stay down there and do your 5, 6 o'clock newscast, right? For me or other people in the print media, maybe you might not like it as much because you want to get out of there and get your work done.
Right,
you know,
right.
So it just depends on who you are and what you like. He has not, and Bulldog, and maybe we'll ask him at this at some point. I'm sure at training camp it'll come up when they're having earlier practices, most likely, which is basically the question of like why, like what do you think about that? You've done this way under Sean McDermott and others. Why are you doing it the other way? And my guess is, meetings, weightlifting, sports science, all that stuff.
He won't say, I just want that extra hour of sleep. He won't say that. Coaches don't talk like that. Will he be is he a John Gruden, set the alarm for 3:17 in the morning so he can be at the office by 4?
Oh, he's already got that reputation. Like, he's the first.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any players are expecting or expected to beat him into the building. I think that's right. Brady's got that rep already.
Do we take that seriously?
He's an early guy.
Yeah.
Do we take that seriously? Does it, in 2026, not to load the question, Sal, but does that impress you?
No, it doesn't impress me from a standpoint of, someone. It depends. Like, if someone doing it as a flex, then no, it doesn't impress me. But I'll be honest, like just knowing like how I am in my own life, if someone tells me they get up that early every day and start their day and do things, I am pretty impressed by that. That's cool. Like,
that's fair.
Like I sometimes wish that I would be more in that routine, to be honest with you. Like when I get up in the morning and I get my workout in, I feel so much better. And the days I don't, I'm like, man, I should have worked out this morning and I didn't. So when someone can do that, I have a lot of respect for that.
That's fair. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Everything you said. Like if I don't do something physical between like 9 a.m. and noon, I feel like I've let my, because what am I doing? I'm just sitting on all day looking at Twitter all day. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I just think sometimes, because I want to be fair here, but sometimes it sounds like the coach is telling you that to impress you.
Sure.
And, if it's for show, then I don't need it. You got to be able to tell the difference, I guess. So let's see. What else? I mean, we got the lineup of.
Want to talk about what happened today?
Yeah, what happened today? What people said? Like, what's more interesting? What happened or what people said? Because a few different. I know we know Josh talked, and obviously the coach too.
What's the lead? Right?
Yes, and in full transparency, I did not hear Josh yet because I was talking with other people again because of the way this is structured now. Like Josh was at the podium, and I'll go back and listen to him. I was actually off interviewing other people, including like Travis Clayton, playing defense now and as opposed to offense, and Michael Hoyt was interesting and wanted to talk to him a little bit today because he was doing individual drills, guys. Like it's crazy to think
he's
about.
Back. It looks like he's back.
Yeah, at Sal Sports, by the way, if you want to take a look at some video on X, I'll post it at the website later. But I mean, he's doing individual work, and he knew to the day and how many days it is. He, obviously he would know when he tore his Achilles. He said it was November 5th, and he said, what's that? How many? 7 months and 4 days or something like that. Like he knew it. And he said, I don't know if I'm ahead of schedule. Sure, it might feel like that. He goes, I'm just doing what I need to do to get back. And he is. He's doing individual work. I was surprised to see him doing that today. I thought he'd continue to work with trainers off to the side. So that was encouraging. Joshua Palmer was back working on the field. Just seemed to be taking regular reps. So that was good to see. Deion Dawkins was back. That was good. We heard from him a little bit. He said he's certainly not where he wants to be physically, but he's getting there. He's had to really kind of do some things different with his body. He wants to be able to he wants to lose some weight for the season. And, it's just still early for that. We did not, however, see Skylar Bell out there. I did see him catching passes from the jugs machine after practice. So he had a sleeve on one of his legs. So I'm guessing he just kind of nicked up a little bit and, nothing too much to worry about if that was the case. Cole Bishop did not do any football activities. He was on the sidelines watching, and so was Spencer Brown. I don't think there's any reason to believe either of them have anything major. However, Dorian Williams was spotted by Matt Bove. I did not see Dorian, but he was spotted. Matt tweeted it out on big crutches. Like Matt said, the crutches were pretty big too. Like Dorian was on crutches. Joe Brady was asked before practice, before we saw this, about Dorian not being at OTAs. He revealed there's an injury. He did not say specifically, but we know it's something different than the neck injury. during the playoffs, which means it's an off-season injury.
Because you wouldn't be on crutches with a neck injury,
Correct.
Probably.
Although it's football, they could try to trick you.
Right.
They don't have to disclose injuries now.
And so yeah, Brady goes on to say they hope Williams is ready for camp is what I think I read, right? So that doesn't sound super great.
It doesn't. I mean, you guys know. I think we talked a little bit about the linebacker spot, and I just think, first of all, I think there's a true open competition there. But this really makes me zero in on Caleb Elarmzor. Like, I think he's going to go to training camp as the front runner now. There's any doubt about it. He's going to have all this opportunity taking these reps during the offseason. Terrell Bernard I just wrote about this at WGR550.com with the inside linebackers, and it's just so happening now where, to me, like, Bernard's already the entrenched starter, and now you're going to have Caleb Elarmzor there. It also makes sense now that, they did bring in another linebacker just a couple weeks ago. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, and this guy's been in the league 6-7 years, so at least you have another veteran in the room. You have Joe Andreessen still there, but this is a bummer for Dorian Williams. I hope he's ready for his sake. He's done everything he can to put himself in position. 4 years last year of a rookie contract he's going into with a change in defense and maybe an opportunity to be a starter, and this happens. It kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
I've heard this from others. I'm thinking of Jacob Sanderson, who I'll be on with tonight from ADP Chasing, thinking of Daniel Jones. Sal, have you given a thought to this? Speaking of Hoyt, I think Achilles injuries, we have to recalibrate how long they take. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that you did not come back. I mean, then Cam Akers happened. Cam Akers, as a running back, had an Achilles injury, and then, wow, he wasn't super good. He might never have been super good, but I think maybe there's a thing here. Like Daniel Jones, Jacob is a Colts fan. He's like, he'll be there week 1. And that seemed counterintuitive. I mean, he was injured very late.
Yeah, only a couple of years ago, we were sort of rolling our eyes at Aaron Rodgers talking through an offseason like, I'm going to be fine.
Right.
And it turned out he was. There was even talk, I don't know how serious it was at all, about him even coming back later that season.
That's right, and we all made fun of that.
We absolutely did. Yeah. Well,
I agree with you. It feels like there's been many advancements maybe with Achilles injuries, right? I'm not sure on that necessarily, but I agree that maybe we have to think a little bit differently than what we've always, thought about it. Michael Hoyt, I asked him today, I said, I know you're an Ivy League guy. You went to Brown, right? I mean, he's a smart guy. I said, how much have you, dived into the science of the Achilles injury? And because it's funny you're asking me about this, because I'm curious about this. Here's this guy, he's already out there, he's doing all this, and I'm like, you're a smart guy. Did you read up about it? Have you been, kind of immersing yourself in the recovery? Now, he said, look, a lot of the stuff is going to be the same for a lot of people, but sure. He said, I've been a sponge with a lot of the doctors, just understanding the body, understanding a lot of what goes into it, what to do, what not to do. He said, you're probably going to get the same kind of rehab from most places. But sure, and that doesn't surprise me. Michael Hoyt's a very, very intelligent man, and I figured that this would be the case with him.
Sal Capaccio with us on the Wester Hotline. Minicamp for the Bills this week. Listening to Brady today, we were talking about not only some of what he said, but how he says it. I've had this little bit of a bug of my own when it comes to him, because he kind of just, in a fast sort of way, says everything, covers all the bases. He
talks fast.
He talks fast, and he kind of covers every possible answer to the question, so as not to, I guess, perhaps expose himself in some way. After it's a little bit of a date on the calendar today, the first day where everybody has to be there. Did he give you any sort of impression about anything that was different or fresh?
No. It's funny you say that. I always I think I talk fast. So, Joe Brady, I think he talks fast. So, I mean, that's really
nothing wrong with that.
Listen to him.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know I wouldn't say different, Mike, but when he was asked, so he comes out to his press conference. Sometimes the way this works is people open up with a statement. You're kind of waiting for them to talk.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't talk. He just stand there and he kind of looks at us. So I'm not always the first person to ask a question, but today I was the first person to ask a question. And I said, Joe, is everyone here today? Joe, are you expecting everyone to be here? However I said it. His first 2 words, everybody's here. He said, love the attendance we've had. Everybody's here. And then he was asked a follow-up question about guys who weren't here, like James Cook. And he said something to the effect of, look, you'd love everybody to be here throughout everything. It's just, but I've been in contact with these guys. And that was the first sense I got where he was saying, like, yeah, you know what? A few of these guys have missed some things, and we need to get them back, making sure. And not that he's mad at him or anything, but you want to get full attendance now, but, you're a first-year head coach. You wish maybe you had full attendance, and it's unrealistic, but there were some key guys maybe not here, and now they're here, and he's super happy about that. But that was the first time I got him. I kind of got the feeling that he was, talking about guys not being here, and that would have been nice if they were here.
Does that include, not to throw you a curveball, does that include Tyler Bass?
You mean not being here?
Being there, like if everybody's here, he's there, right? He's under contract, isn't he?
Yep.
He is, yeah. I don't see any reason why. I can't remember anything going on with him other than the injury from earlier this offseason.
Okay. Does he have a new number?
I mean, I'm sorry, from last year. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's there and he's participating. It's weird with the special teamers, the kickers, the punters, the long snappers, because sometimes guys, like, they will just do their work separately, and I'm not even paying attention if they're there or not, because I don't want to say they're not there, because they literally could be inside the new stadium for all I know, testing the wind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's how that thing goes with them.
Does he have a new number?
16.
16.
Yeah. 16 now, because Moore.
DJ Moore is number 2. Yeah.
Do we have an official trade? A transaction?
Not yet. We haven't asked about that yet. Thank you for reminding me. I'd like to get that on record at some point. Maybe we'll do it at training camp, but at some point we're going to ask him for that for sure.
By the way, on ProFootballReference.com, we enjoy the nicknames, and sometimes the pronunciations come in handy. For Tyler Bass, it literally says pronunciation pronounced like the fish. That's what it says.
Well,
on the
that's
site.
Because it says that in the Bills media guide.
So it's just copied from there? Pronounced like the fish.
Yeah, literally when we get our game notes, if you look at the game notes, the flip card that you guys see, and you go in the Bills media guide, it says pronunciations, and it says Bass pronounced like the fish.
Well, that only helps me if I know how to pronounce the fish. I mean, if I don't know that, I'm in trouble.
Right. I wonder if there's ever been anyone who goes, well, I'm sure there has, goes by base, that spelling, and on their Pro Football Reference card, it would say pronounced like the musical instrument.
Right.
Yeah,
I've never heard anybody pronounce bass with that spelling, but I'd like to meet somebody who has that.
Right.
All right. DJ Moore. I asked because there's a picture of DJ Moore today. He's got a playing card under his hat. The 2 of hearts. Mm-hmm. He's number 2. He's got the 2 of hearts.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sal, we've talked about Moore, and we'll do so many more times. No pun intended.
Yeah.
What's a stat line that they can live with that will make the Bills feel like, notwithstanding their record? I mean, that's where it has to start, and that's what matters the most. But with what they've invested in Moore, draft pick, money, and then a role presumably as the number 1 target in this offense, I'm saying that. What's a acceptable year, like a minimum acceptable year?
First of all, let me give you a note on DJ Moore, since he's top of mind here. There was a moment during practice today where he looked like he was being looked at by trainers, and even Josh Allen went over and got down and talked to him. We're all like, ooh, what happened? It was after a play in the red zone where it appeared that he tried to kind of pull up a little bit and go the other way, and we were like, did something happen? He got back up, he put his helmet on, and he went back in. So nothing to worry about, but just to kind of cover all the bases here. If you look at last year for the Buffalo Bills and what their wide receiver, and there's been so much discussion about wide receivers, their top receiver was who? Khalil Shakir, right? 72 catches, 719 yards.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I would say DJ Moore has to blow by that. Like, you have to be better than that. He wasn't brought here to do 72 catches for 719 yards. DJ Moore has been an 1,100-plus yard receiver 4 times in his career. I think he has to at least get to 1,000 yards and maybe 1,100 to get to where you're talking about, Mike.
And touchdowns? Do you see him being – I mean, they don't really have this already for him to replace somebody as this, but, like, is it possible, is it likely he's a number 1 option on 3rd and goal from the 8? Like, is that going to be a part of his story this year?
It's a good question. I don't think I'm comfortable answering that until I see a little bit more at training camp and how they want to deploy him. But my initial reaction to everything I've heard about DJ Moore and watching him, there is no situation where he won't be on the field, or at least they won't hesitate to put him on the field.
Mm-hmm. Last year, I mean, the Bills had a prolific offense, explosive plays, great season. 11 touchdown passes went to wide receivers. Coleman tied for the most. You think of Coleman all the time as like what he isn't.
4, right?
4 with Shakir, and then it's 1 each for Shavers, Gabe Davis, and Curtis Samuel, regular season.
Yeah. Knox and Kincaid had 4 and 5 respectively. Too. They're not receivers, but
right. You have big rushing touchdown years from Allen every year. Cook broke the franchise record 2 years ago in touchdown rushes. Doesn't have to be one way, but there's been room here for somebody. Not that Moore is a huge target exactly, but there's been room for somebody to elevate in this area.
I mean, if Dalton Kincaid stays healthy, I think Dalton Kincaid is a much bigger better proposition to be that guy. I think they would love to use Dalton Kincaid in that way. He is so athletic. He can be a mismatch, and if you're going to go a little bigger at the goal line, I think he can beat a guy, and that would be great for them. And he's looking really good. By the way, Sunday was the Greg Rousseau softball game. I was the MC out there, and this guy just was smashing home runs, and he looked great. And he's been doing everything this offseason. There was talk at the combine and owners meeting about load management or whatever. It made the rounds, and I mean, today I asked Brady about Dalton, and he said he talked immediately about his mindset, and that's a part of it too. If you're looking for that, Mike, I think Dalton Kincaid is the more likely option to be the guy that could have some sort of major impact on red zone, throwing the ball and catching the ball in the red zone than DJ Moore. And that's not to say DJ Moore won't be a part of that.
Yeah, the talk about load management was from the Bills, right? It wasn't just us speculating. Like they all
No, that's right.
Right, they all used that phrasing talking about Kincaid.
And they said, and then when they said it, people thought they meant in the season. I thought they meant in the offseason, but I haven't seen it yet in the offseason. I'm saying too.
Right. Yeah, good. Yeah, good point. Yeah. I saw a clip today. Brandon Cooks on some NFL show talking about how much he loved it here, and I also saw an interaction that I believe was between Deion Dawkins and Stephon Diggs, where Dawkins is like saying it's time, kind of like come on back kind of thing. Do you think they will add a receiver of that caliber to this room, or do you think they'll go to camp with what they've got?
This is a really interesting discussion for me because we just had it this morning with Jeremy and Joe, and where I arrived ultimately was, would I be surprised if in September Brandon Cooks is on the roster and not Joshua Palmer? I would not be surprised. Joshua Palmer today was on the field doing work. He hadn't been doing that the time we were out there. He had injuries last year. I think they like Joshua Palmer. He's got to be healthy, though. They can save $2.5 million. Now, they would take a pretty good dead cap hit, but I don't think that matters to these teams as much these days. The money you're saving is more important. You can move on from him and save $2.5 million. And I think Brandon Cooks was very much what they wanted in a wide receiver. They loved him in that building. They talked so highly of him. I just think the Stephon Diggs stuff is so it's soap opera stuff. To me, it's not worth really getting into talking about, like as far as a serious idea. I mean, and Deion Dawkins, I don't know. I mean, that could be anything. Deion Dawkins posted an April Fool's joke that he got traded to the Miami Dolphins, on social media.
Oh, that wasn't real?
So I don't think the Stephon Diggs thing is. I think that's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'd be really stunned. There'd have to be some sort of amazing reversal of those two parties and how they how everything ended and stuff. But without getting into that, I think Brandon Cooks could be a legitimate possibility, but that might depend on where this lands with Joshua Palmer, Keon Coleman, Skylar Bell, and what all that looks like there.
Poor Sal. Every single show they want to talk about wide receivers. I asked him that as I asked him the DJ Moore stat question. It hit me. I just asked him that last week. The same question.
Yeah.
I pushed back on Moore a little bit.
Well, hey, you asked me something else last week that actually we did get some play on. Just so you know, just the James Cook workload.
Yeah.
Brady was asked about it today, and what he said was, and I can actually read the quote back because your pals over there at Sleeper quoted me on Twitter there, Mike.
Oh.
And they put it on Sleeper NFL. Can't have the mindset of how many carries he's going to have. He played at such a high level last year, but I would love to have opportunities to get Ray Davis and Ty Johnson the ball. That's what Brady said today.
Yeah, that's one of those where he says kind of everything. 385 touches for Cook last year, including playoffs. pretty. Or is that
he took one today. Like they can't like hit each other, right? You run through the hole, defenders get in there, they put an arm on you. That's the kind of time we're in. But like he had a run today that was just he has not missed a beat. It looked exactly like one of those touchdown runs where he just gets into the hole and explodes and takes it to the house. And looked just like that today. And I'm like, all right, well that's James Cook.
385 is the number. It's a lot.
Right, it was 342 in the regular season, so that tracks.
Thank you, Sal. Talk to you tomorrow, I bet.
You got it, guys. Thanks.
All right, it's our man Sal Capaccio on the Bills beat. His appearances are always brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet?
Was it yesterday where I brought up Warren Sharp and the last time the Bills had a shutout was 2021 against Houston? Davis Mills, 40-0. Cooks was the leading receiver for Houston. I do not think of him on the Texans. He's been on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Saints, Rams, Patriots, Bills, Dallas, Houston. You lost me on that one, but he had 4 catches maybe, but led the team that day. 803-0550 if you want to call in. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
Day one of mandatory minicamp is in the books for the Bills, and good news right off the bat. Head coach Joe Brady did confirm every Bills player was in attendance. But there was some injury news. Linebacker Dorian Williams, he was dealing with an undisclosed injury, but was seen during practice with crutches. Joe Brady did say they're hoping he is ready to go by training camp. And then Spencer Brown, Cole Bishop, and Skylar Bell all missed practice as well. Around the rest of the league, Adam Schefter said today that while nothing is official, he does believe it is more likely than not that Aaron Donald does come out of retirement to play for the Rams. Speaking of them, it was reported also today that left tackle Alaric Jackson was arrested on Monday for felony domestic violence charges. And then two-time All-Pro guard Joel Bitonio announced his retirement after 12 seasons in the NFL. All of those seasons were with the Cleveland Browns. And then the Stanley Cup Finals, they are back in action tonight. Game 4 in Vegas at 8 o'clock. Golden Knights up 2-1 over Carolina. Coverage right here on WGR will begin a half hour before that at 7:30. And then a bit of a lineup note for tonight. Carolina head coach Rod Brind'Amour will not reveal who his starting goalie will be. We'll find that out closer to puck drop. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Similar routine, spend a little bit more time on the body, working out, and just trying to continue to hone in on the mechanic side of things. I feel like I'm in a good spot right now and can still be better, so I'm going to continue to find ways that I can do that. But obviously, having a baby now, sticking around the house a little bit more and trying to balance, being a dad and going out there and getting my work done too. So it's still awesome, though.
Come on. Get to work. Get to work, buddy. This is important. Don't you know it? This is important. This is the year. I'm kidding. I'm obsessed with the stat about Allen and his rushing touchdown prowess and where he ranks on the all-time list. In terms of passing touchdowns, with 220, he ranks 11th among active players. And that includes Phillip Rivers, who might technically still be considered active. I think sometimes there's an official element on the reference sites with this, and a lot of times you see, where's my Ryan Tannehill? A lot of times you see players that we all assume are retired that are listed as active, although Rivers did make a comeback.
Right, he did retire.
And
then unretired and came back last year.
Yeah.
I think you should, I think, feel safe assuming that won't happen again with him, but who knows? I mean, at this time last year, you could have asked me, do you think Phillip Rivers might come back? No, of course not.
Of course not.
He's about to be elected into the Hall of Fame. He's not coming back. I don't think he came back. So, I don't know. Somebody's in a pickle middle of the year, late in the year. Who knows?
On the all-time list, not just active players, Allen in passing touchdowns is 42nd between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ryan Tannehill.
How about that?
Yep. And he'll probably pass Jim Kelly this year. He's 17 behind. You would hope.
It'd be stunning if he plays the year and didn't double that. I mean, not double is strong, but he should pass that comfortably this year.
If Allen, as he was saying to Tyler Dunn, is going to move on from football at a point at which he's not able to play the way he likes to play, or words to that effect, he will probably not make up the ground on Tom Brady in passing touchdowns. He is 429 behind Brady. That's more than Rivers' career total.
Yeah. Does Brady, boy, there'd be, I'm not going to ask you to find this right now, because I don't think it's probably too cumbersome, but I wonder if Brady from this, the answer is probably almost yes, definitely, had more touchdowns from 30 to 40 than Allen has in his career yet. Because that's 10 years, and Allen's not, this is year 9.
You talking about Sir?
About what?
Who are we talking about, Sir?
Who's Sir?
Tom Brady. It's one of his nicknames, Sir. Is that who you're asking about, Sir? Now I'm in a Jim Florentine bit. I don't mean to be, Sir.
I I thought.
All right.
I don't remember Sir as one of his nicknames, but I remember there being another one that, like, I'm sure no one has ever referred to him as.
The Pharaoh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Sir?
The Pharaoh. What? Does he look like a Pharaoh? I don't.
The Pharaoh.
I just don't understand. Anyway.
How does one get the nickname the Pharaoh?
Yeah.
Right? There's got to be a story. What is it about you?
Right.
Did you go to Egypt once? Are you mummified?
I still think that's a prank on the Pro Football Reference site.
Brady threw in his 30s alone for 309 touchdowns.
Right.
So Allen's, what do we say, 220?
Yeah. Right.
So far.
Wow. Yeah. And that's only a year off of, right? Or are we two this is his 9th year, so he's got 2 more seasons, but still he's not going to throw 100 or more touchdowns in this 2 years, probably.
I want to know 40s now. I can't erase the...
Did he go till 44?
Yeah.
Is that how
45
old he was when he stopped? Yeah, that's why I did not say from the age Allen is now to the end, because that's twice as long as Allen's played already. I mean, of course that's going to be way more. I wanted to try to just confine it to the decade of, from 30 to 40, the 10 years.
Brady threw in his 40s for 193 touchdowns.
Good God.
In his 40s. He's still in his 40s, I think. So are we assuming that's over? But 193. Which is the same number as, like, Bob Greasy, 192. Cam Newton, Ken Stabler. That's Brady in his 40s alone.
Right. Well, you can tell you're someone who frequents these sites that you were, because I brought it up. I'm like, oh, that's too hard for you to figure out during a segment. I'd at least give you a commercial break.
Oh,
but
well.
You're just right there. Bam. There it is. Here's
You
the
just have
info.
to click on the range, and it tells you. I didn't have to add anything.
I can't even figure out how to use this new gambling app. Hardly.
New gambling app?
Well, no. I changed.
You moved?
Yeah, I moved. I don't. So far, I'm not enjoying it.
Really?
It's
different.
It's mechanically not working. Like, won't let me access. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm like doing this to my phone, trying to get it to let me, like, go where I want to go. And I don't think you should have to do that. I don't think the touch screens are designed to have to tap them like you're trying to scare your fish in an aquarium.
That's
just
funny.
basically what I'm doing. Like, can I just access my $25 bonus bets, please? Let me in. And then it lets me in. So now, you know what? Now the next time it won't let, I'm going to just sit there and just keep tapping the screen like a moron. Which means I'm just going to stop using it.
Maybe that's good.
It's probably will be in the end. But I did get a bunch of stuff in for tonight, so I'm loaded. I'm armed.
But nothing on the A's.
I don't believe the A's are a part of my thing tonight. They're home, right?
They are. Well, what's home?
They're out west.
They're in Las Vegas for the week.
I grabbed like 5 early games. I did.
Everything's in Las Vegas. Yeah. Do we still have a half a dozen or so ex-Bills from defense alone that are still free agents?
I believe that's correct.
Milano,
Joey Bosa, Tre'Davious White.
Taylor Rapp?
I think that's also right.
Daquan Jones?
Yeah.
Are any of these guys, if anybody knows, are any of those guys on a team?
I don't think I haven't seen any of them sign somewhere. It's possible it happened while I was in Montana or something.
Listen to you. What do we make of that? Is it random?
No, I think we make of that the league has judged that those guys are all finished, and yet they were playing vitally important roles in Sean McDermott's last game.
There's a lot of things you could say from that,
yeah,
right?
There is, yes.
I mean, it's not ideal if you have half a defensive unit that the league doesn't think is any good, but it also is kind of impressive that you got that far with those guys playing, so to speak, big minutes.
Yeah, well, that's why there's always been this sort of, the timing. Other years maybe there felt like there was more cause with McDermott than if you're isolating just season over season. Like, how did you feel when it ended? I don't think that there was as much of an appetite for it after the Denver game as there was after other years, even though it's another year further down the road because of this point. I mean, and we didn't know at the time that Joey Bosa and Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano and Daquan Jones and Taylor Rapp would not be on teams, at least we think, going into the new season. But it still felt like he had sort of managed to hold that whole thing together.
It's another reason to think that these seasons, when they're judged by management, are not in a vacuum. They're not on their own. It's
right.
What got McDermott was the accumulation of it all, the years, and probably frayed relationships from it, which is natural when you go so long. So
yep.
I wouldn't push back on anybody saying that it was his best work, some of his best work as a coach, as a defensive coach, but I don't think that mattered to them in the end. It was not it didn't change anything for him. I think that's probably mostly fair. Here's Steve with us. Hello, Steve.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was talking because I don't know if it's going to be really super Allen-centric this year with Brady being the coach, because of the fact that he has a real high belief in Cook. He's bought a lot out in Cook. 2 years ago, he had the most touchdowns in the league. Would have had more, but a lot of touchdowns went to Allen in the rushing touchdowns. And the fact that in that Carolina game last year, he could have went for O.J. Simpson's single-game record, but the coach wanted to pull him out despite what the offensive line and the players were saying to keep him in to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if he got 2,000 yards this year, or maybe 275 to 300 yards, one of the two, and Allen, along with that, having a super great year.
Okay. I would be blown away, but I really don't think I need to talk about this, because for 2 years in a row, as you laid out, I didn't think the upside was really that great for Cook. The point you made about Allen and rushing touchdowns is maybe the number one reason why. Also his size a little bit, and everybody eats in the passing game, but not necessarily in the running game. I just thought there were better bets, but I'm put in my place a little bit by the last 2 years. Like he was phenomenal, and the stats show it. So, do we ever want to predict records? No, but I'm not going to, really fight you on this idea that he's going to have another big year, because they've shown that. A, they've shown that they are willing to use him to that extent, and B, he's been up to it.
I think what they showed us last year, I'm more inclined to think that they may ride him until the wheels fall off before they throttle down and try to squeeze in Ray Davis, Ty Johnson touches. I think last year tells you a lot. So. They think, and look, there's a lot to be said for having your best guys on the field. Like if he's, he proved to become a game breaker, just a house call almost from anywhere, anytime. There's value in that guy being on the field more. I mean, if you pull him out of there, you're taking that away from your team. So, I mean, it makes sense. You just, there's a balance there.
Caller's memory is right on that Carolina game, too. Cook, got a carry with 4:41 left in the third, and that was it. They won 40-9, and Cook went for, I think, 217?
216 is what I saw.
216 and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, it was that kind of day.
They could have leaned into it. Yeah, he could have gone for a single-game team record, or even, I don't know, what is the is it still?
It's probably someone else now, but the first name for me here is Jamal Lewis.
Right. There was a night game where he did that, I remember.
I don't know that I remember that. Single game rushing yards. Good thing we have the internet.
Yep.
Adrian Peterson by 1.
Okay.
Topped Jamal Lewis. Adrian Peterson holds the NFL single game rushing record. 296. No one's ever gotten to 3. Maybe it's this year. Maybe if Carolina had kept it close on offense,
right?
All these soon to be retired defensive players we had, they couldn't do anything.
Right.
Come on, Carolina. Trista's new team, the Panthers. I don't know. Are they a fun team to root for? Have they ever been?
I mean, I'll have fun rooting for them as long as they're alive to win the division.
You have that.
Because I have them in one of my things.
You have everybody, though.
I don't have everybody. I only have 2 of those.
Okay.
So,
I have everybody.
Yeah, you've 10.
I have 14.
14?
I have 4 of my own and then 10 that I split with family.
Well, then you should have everyone.
I almost do. I have the Raiders, I know. I have Miami, I know.
Wow.
I don't think I have Arizona. I didn't go that far.
Okay.
I like the value on San Francisco too much to bet Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
That felt like throwing money away. Minnesota was fun, good value. I don't think I have the Giants at all. Could that happen? If Philadelphia is down, that could happen.
It could happen. I
got to do another one.
Neighbors, where's he at? I think if he is ready to play a full season, there are things that would surprise me more than the Giants winning 10 games.
Good players, like
lots of high
talent.
picks on defense, and that's why I mentioned Neighbors. Like the
Harbaugh.
quarterback looks promising. Big Hall of Fame bound coach. Yeah,
Hall of Fame bound. Oh boy, I'm not ready to argue with that.
He's going to cruise into the Hall of
Fame.
John Harbaugh's going to cruise into the Hall of Fame. Yes,
with his 1 Super Bowl and
18 years in Baltimore,
and he's not done. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. This is WGR. 100 days to the Bills home opener. I saw it today.
I did see that as well.
For those of you who measure time by days like that, I, for one, really don't. What's the date? September
the
16th?
opener? Yeah, 17th.
September 17th?
Thursday the 17th, yeah.
All right. I feel like intuitively you can kind of know how far away that is without having to count days. Agree with that?
Yeah, because, give or take, there's usually about 30 days in a month.
Right. I didn't need this assistance.
Yeah, I don't.
Like when, you're watching sports. I love this one. You're watching sports and they tell you that this team, the New York Knicks, have not won the NBA title since 1973. But in case you don't understand years, here was the price of gas. Here was how much milk cost. Here was the number one song. Oh, now I can understand
Thanks
this.
for contextualizing this
now,
for me. Yeah.
Without this information, gas was 9 cents. I didn't really grasp how long ago that was, but now I do. We got to do something, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes something includes finding new ways of counting.
Right. When Mike Emmerich always used to say there's 100 seconds left.
Oh, my God.
How about a minute 40?
Three quarters of a minute. Stop it!
Who's impressed?
3/4 of a minute is at 15, 25. 25 is a quarter. Ah!
Right.
You're not helping me here, sir.
This is WGR. Sal Capaccio with us now on the West Her Hotline. Sal, what kind of day have you had?
Busy one, very packed. This will be our life, gentlemen, pretty much Wednesdays and Thursdays. I guess not as much Wednesdays and Thursdays this year because the Bills don't play as many Sundays, but when they play on Sundays, this will be our life, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Joe Brady having a later practice than what Sean McDermott had today was an example. Like, he spoke at 1:45. The team was on the field at 2:15. They wrapped up at about 4. I literally just walked into Studio Capaccio in Buffalo, like got home, and I'm doing this now. Like, this is what it's going to be like compared to the last 9 years of having practices at 12:30 p.m. and then you're done by 2:30, and then you have a little time to kind of get everything done. So it definitely is going to be an adjustment.
Do we need to move the time of our show? Maybe to like 10,
Maybe,
11?
sure, you can do that. Yeah.
Catch
sure.
you before all this, although
it's, but
new
I
time in the
part
corner on the YouTube screen.
New time.
New time.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Value added.
But with so many non-Sunday games, I don't know. It's a moving target anyway, right? It always is with us and with them playing. But when they have their normal weekly practice schedule, it's going to look much more like this than it would be under Sean McDermott, which is to say just later in the day.
Has Brady been asked about this preference? Because I it makes sense that they're doing it during minicamp, because I'd already heard that it looks like training camp practices are going to be more in the afternoon, whereas McDermott was always kind of first thing in the morning. That's not the case?
No, training camp is going to be early in the day from what
okay.
Earlier even.
I heard wrong. Wow. Okay, I heard wrong then. All right, well, then that sort of torpedoes the question about Brady having a preference for the afternoon versus the morning.
Well, we did not ask him today specifically because we didn't really know, officially, and it's not official until everything comes out. But
right.
My sense is just because they're going to have meetings, sports science, weightlifting. It just really, lots of teams do it.
Day 1 of mandatory minicamp is in the books for the Buffalo Bills. There was some good news right off the bat today when head coach Joe Brady spoke to the media before practice, and that is that every Bills player is in attendance. But there is some injury news. Linebacker Dorian Williams, he's dealing with an undisclosed injury. He was seen during practice with crutches, but Brady said with the media the hope is he'll be ready by training camp. He, of course, did not practice, along with Spencer Brown, Cole Bishop, and Skylar Bell. Our own Sal Capaccio has more on today up at our website, WGR550.com. Around the rest of the NFL, Adam Schefter saying today that while nothing is official, he thinks it is more likely than not Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to play for the Rams and staying with L.A. It was reported today that left tackle Alaric Jackson was arrested on Monday for a felony domestic violence charge. Stanley Cup Finals are back in action tonight. Game 4 in Las Vegas at 8 o'clock. Golden Knights up 2-1 on Carolina. The coverage right here, though, on WGR will begin a half hour before that at 7:30. Then in baseball, Bison's back home. They host Syracuse at 6:35. That game can be heard on our sister station, The Bet, 1520. And then in the majors, the Yankees, they are at the Guardians at 6:40. The Jays host Philly at 7:07. And at 7:10, the Mets, they host St. Louis. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for West New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
You might be mocking me or you might be staunchly agreeing with me. I can't tell.
I'm mocking you.
And the Bulldog.
What is Fozzie Bear's role in this production?
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
This Aussie rules football game you picked for us has been a banger.
It sure has.
West Coast and Port Adelaide.
It's a 5-point match right now, 3 minutes to go. I have so little idea what is actually happening that I don't know how dangerously close. Who's WC again?
West Coast.
West Coast. Easy.
They're one try away from the lead.
Okay.
They were way behind.
Yeah, right. They were down by 16 a little bit ago, and now it's 4.
Now it's down to 4.
They call it a single?
I think it's a try when you get the big one, the 6-pointer.
Okay.
I think is a try.
All right.
And a mark is when you catch it in the field of play, like a kick forward, go up, catch it. That's a mark. So the play stops for you, and then you can
do something
from there.
Yeah.
This is not live because it's in Australia and it would not be live.
Yeah. So there's that. So this result is known.
This result is known, but not by us. That makes it really exciting.
It's
also, you know what else about this sport?
Well, it's not really exciting, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time taking my eyes off it. But you know what else? Here's a rare sport where the officials handle the ball. So when the ball goes out of play, it's one of the officials with the yellow shirts that you should. Have you seen one of these throws yet? They sort of turn their back to the field. So like a round field.
Mm-hmm.
They turn their backs to the field and launch it as they're spinning as far and high as they can. Like a jump ball, basically.
Oh, okay. To put the ball back in play?
Yes.
Like a jump ball, but from far away.
From way over here.
Yeah, wow.
And so here's a sport where
I've not seen any of that here.
To be an official, you have to be, able to do that.
Competent at throwing.
Not just know the rules.
Yeah, right.
This right here might be one of those moments. I don't know. I got to take my eyes off it.
Right.
I'm getting too excited.
I'll watch for you because I've not seen this official throw maneuver. Yeah, no, there it is. Yeah, wow, you're right. Yeah, that is
it's a pretty athletic-looking maneuver
Yeah.
for the official to have to do in this sport, Australian rules football, which is on what? Something called Fox Soccer Plus.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't it be on a soccer channel with the World Cup starting this week? It's not live either. You were mentioning, and I'm always a sure thing to take the bait on this, those parlays we did.
The 8-teamers, the NFL division winner parlays?
Yes. And the one you shared with me has Pittsburgh on it.
Yes.
So I think...
Who did we talk? You know who influenced that? Matt Verderam. We had Matt Verderam on Friday, and he said basically, like, I don't really trust Baltimore. Cincinnati has no defense, and he landed on Pittsburgh for that division. And I had that in my head, plus the odds were like plus 500 or something.
I saw plus 500 as well.
It's like, okay.
And that made them interesting to me, too. But I feel like Pittsburgh should be a team where we should be able to find an edge. Because it just seems too basic to be like, well, they always do it. Is that good enough? Like, well, they always do it. They can't be, well, for one thing, great. I don't think they'll be great. But kind of like the caller before when he brought up James Cook, I'm sort of exhausted assuming the Steelers are going to dip.
Right.
So is it good enough to just be like, what's their over-under going to be, 8.5, 9, something like that? At 5-1, if Matt is right about the Ravens and the Bengals, well, I mean, Pittsburgh is a credible enough team.
Sure, and who knows if those teams are down. I mean, Baltimore missed last year at Cincinnati. Whatever. If they don't rebound strongly, 10 wins could win that division.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Like I
just did, right?
You're right. I don't bet Pittsburgh to win that division, expecting them to be challenging for the 1 seed. Like I can't even say that without starting to chuckle. There's no way. But could they win a sloppy, not that good division if that ends up being the case? I mean, I know that's very speculative. I mean, Cincinnati, if Burrow and that offense are in one piece, like, I might not worry too much about their defense. Like maybe they are a team that can win a lot of games 35-30 or something. So and Baltimore's been so good for some. There's a new coach there now, but that's the case here too. That's the case in Pittsburgh too. No more Mike Tomlin. Like that might be the biggest reason to wonder if they're gonna stay sort of status quo. Just how much did Tomlin have to do with keeping that thing on the rails to the extent that they were able to always be above 500? And maybe that changes with McCarthy there instead of Tomlin.
Well, that's tricky, too, because McCarthy has been around. He's somebody – he doesn't have the burden, if you will, of having to prove himself. Like
he's not a first-timer.
He's got a track record.
Yeah.
Back on the Steelers here again.
Okay.
Here is their schedule. And you know what Rodgers was last year. You kind of know what McCarthy is. I think maybe he got a little bit too much grief for Dallas for what they were. Like they could score when he was there, but I don't know. I've just never had a high opinion of him. It's generally based on how he talks and acts and maybe even looks a little bit. So I have a tough time sort of embracing him as the coach you want.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta at home. At New England. Cincinnati at home, at Cleveland.
3-1.
Maybe. Colts at home. At Tampa. At New Orleans. That game is in Paris. Of course it is. And then the Browns again. 5-3 or better.
Yeah.
Unless they're just bad.
Right.
So you could get to 5. You could get to the midpoint by in week 9. You could reasonably get to 5-3 or even better through their first 8 games. They don't see the Ravens until late. They're playing the NFC South. In fact, they're playing 3/4 of it in the first half. So what do we want? Want 5-3 or do you need 6-2?
5-3 is more Steelersy, I think.
It is more Steelersy, and it's more realistic.
Right.
At the Bengals, at the Eagles. Denver. Houston. Okay, this turns.
This toughens
at
up here.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Carolina, at Tennessee, at Baltimore.
Well, they'll split the Baltimore games, both of them being, what is your favorite?
16-15?
16-15, 18-16, whatever. Yeah, okay. All right, that's a split.
Whatever one is less likely or has happened less often is the one I want.
Okay, I want to say 18-16.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know if that's right or not, but I would bet that's a less frequent score than 16-15.
This gives me a chance while you're talking to go to Scoregami. Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, you know what? Let me get there while you're doing that, because I lost track of some of that back end of that schedule there.
Okay.
So I'll just pull it up myself so I can just look at it.
It got
while you're
tough.
looking at that. Yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, you said like after the bye, it's the Bengals, Philly, Denver, Houston, Jacksonville. That is tough. Tennessee. It depends what is Carolina, like Trista's new favorite team. If Carolina's good, man, that is a tough stretch. Eagles, Broncos, Texans, Jaguars, Ravens.
Is it a coincidence that every team we look up, including the Bills, their second half looks brutal? There's like a stretch of 6 or so games that – is that a coincidence? Would they backload the marquee matchups? I'm not sure they would.
I don't know.
16-15 has happened 15 times. Once in the playoffs. Oh, I remember that game. That's the Louis game. Eagles-Bears, double doink at Soldier Field with Trubisky. Remember that? They lost. The Bears lost because the field goal hit the post and the crossbar.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Didn't that happen? Philadelphia won.
I remember them losing a close game at home. But
okay. My friend had a big stake there.
Yeah.
A couple things had broken differently. But isn't that everything? And there have only been 10 18-16 games, so you're right. I like the other score more, including Pittsburgh-Baltimore 2 years ago.
All right, good.
The Bills played a 18-16 game with Indianapolis. Okay. 2000 at home. This was my first day on the air.
The first day on the air?
In Buffalo.
Oh, wow. The day of that game or like after that game?
Post-game.
Post-game, okay.
It was like a soft launch. I went on for a post-game show, and then the next day was the first day of the radio station.
All right.
18-16 Colts.
The 2000 football season. What the hell was? Oh, I was working with Bowerly. I was on in the. So I wasn't even doing. We weren't on against each other. I was not on post game then.
No.
The couple of years that I worked with Tom in the mornings, I did a morning shift for game day. It's the only couple of years there in my career where I wasn't on after Bills games.
9 for 112-1. Eric Moulds in the loss. Rob Johnson. Billy is with us. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, Billy. Thanks.
Yeah, listen. This upcoming year, of course, I'm always rooting for the Bills, and every year I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna have the same rooting this year. But I'll tell you what, guys, where I'm going to differ from you just a little bit is that I think the Bengals have improved their defense a lot.
Okay.
And there's no offense better than theirs in football. I mean, if they keep Joe Burrow upright, there's only one guy that I think that can go with our quarterback in Buffalo, and that's Burrow. They're 1-2 in the league, and yes, I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I'm talking about all these other quarterbacks. I think it's Burrow, and I think it's our guy. And I think I've already got futures on the Bengals to win the whole thing. I just want to see their – I mean, I want Buffalo to win it. You know that.
Sure,
but I'm just saying as a gambler, I really think that if the Bengals get any kind of defense at all this year, I think they're the team to beat. That's all I got, guys.
Okay. They are favored 15 times in 17 games.
Yep.
So I don't have any my own opinion about their defense. It just like I tend to bet against it. Like somebody that the narrative is their defense is bad, I'll tend to sort of ignore that. So maybe I'm closer to the Bengals than I thought. So I just had a funny feeling. My left hand is sort of like a little bit sore, which is funny to me for this reason. Last night, I was out at an indoor lacrosse game in Canada. My daughter is taking it up, and the game ends. You've been to hockey games, whatever. Game ends. So this is like can you picture the field and the look of the arena? It's, turf, big bouncy lacrosse balls, glass like a hockey rink, net above the glass.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Maybe all the way around, maybe not. And the game ends, and so, the players go into the locker room, the parents go downstairs to greet them and meet them as we're going to go home now. And my daughter has just joined the team. She didn't play, and I'm thinking that she might have been the first one out, so I'm kind of looking for her. But before I even know, I'm just walking around in this back area, and I hear, "Heads up!" And a ball hits me completely flush on my right hand, on the back of my right smack, like right there.
Wow, that's a tough place to get hit.
I don't know. It's funny that my left hand hurts right now because that didn't happen.
Huh.
But it's like, ow. I mean, one of my first thoughts was that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I only say that as a tough because that's a back of my hand is a place that I will catch on like a edge of a table or something walking by, and it like right between the knuckles and like, that really hurts. Anyway,
yeah. Do you know that like it's the back of your hand?
I do. So what? Where did this?
That was it. Like it just sort of bounced off me. It hit me hard right in the back of my hand. I just sort of shook my hand, right? Like when you trip a little bit. So I just did a little move, like I'm not embarrassed. I'm not.
Well, the ball hit
That's
you.
the look I'm giving off.
Right.
I am embarrassed.
I'm good over here.
But no problem.
I got it.
I couldn't come up with a quick line or anything like this. Sort of kept walking.
Were you able to throw the ball?
No, I didn't. No.
Get the ball. Here you go. Here's your ball. I'm not hurt.
It hit me hard enough where it just bounced somewhere else, then somebody else must have.
Okay.
But I look back in a minute after, I made it clear to anybody wondering that I was not affected by this. Yeah. Then I sort of looked back at it, and I don't even know how it was possible. Like, because there's glass and then a high net over the glass.
Yeah.
It must have just bounced way up and still had enough velocity on it to nail me like that.
Maybe it hit the rafters and then ricocheted over the netting or something.
I don't know.
That's
I did hear someone that I wasn't looking at say, "Heads up," which,
right.
what is that going to do?
Right.
There was no time anyway, but if I'd had enough time to turn toward that sound, it would have hit me in the face, maybe.
Yeah, that's you never want that.
This was better.
Yeah. Always better to not necessarily like you hear someone yell my move is this. Like I'm not going to look around because that's when you're going to get it right in the choppers.
What did you just do?
I'm like creating a shield with my arms over my head, and I probably duck some. Like I'm going to duck and cover. That's it. I'm not getting on the ground, but
Can you imagine seeing somebody do that?
Right.
You yell 4. I mean, usually I don't even know if I'll do anything when someone yells 4. I probably should. Just sort of turn away from the fairway or something.
Depends on where it's coming from, too.
The sound?
Where the sound comes from.
Right.
Like, obviously, but yeah, that's usually my default. Funny, you hear it often enough, and it's never a problem. You're just being careful, right? or someone's being careful. The only time I've gotten hit by a golf ball, nobody yelled for.
Yeah, well,
but ball just,
I guess it works.
I just teed off, and I was in another tee box, and it hit me right in the thigh. Like, what the hell?
You say anything?
No.
Did the guy just leave?
We weren't playing. It was 8 and 11 at Delaware, so they weren't right in a row. You know what I mean? So we never even I never even saw the guy. Like
you have to apologize.
We teed off while they were we never crossed paths.
You have to go over to the person and apologize.
I know.
You would 100% of the time.
I would. Yes. What I'm saying is this guy probably didn't even know he hit me. Like it was a blind. Like it's where we were. Like I would give the person some benefit of the doubt for not yelling for.
Okay.
Because they might not have realized that someone was there.
Well, that changes things.
Yeah. It's enough of a blind shot that
But if you actually see,
oh God, yeah, oh my God, yeah,
you have to yell for, and if you see
Yes.
someone get hit,
yeah,
you can't just not address that.
No, that would be poor etiquette.
Be a man.
Right.
Be 40.
Yeah,
Get over there,
right,
and say the thing,
right.
And then if they're upset with you, well, they have the right to be.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't know the laws of it. Like if you've been injured.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I have no
The golf
idea
course is not going to be liable.
No.
They're going to make sure you know that.
Right. Yeah.
But what about the other? There have to be examples of this.
Sure. Yeah. Where it's
maybe even deaths.
Probably has happened.
Yeah. They don't tend to talk about golf as a dangerous
well,
sport.
That's because it's pretty rare.
It's got to be pretty rare, or else they would.
I mean, I've played hundreds of rounds of golf just in the last 5 years, and I've gotten hit by a ball one time.
And hit you in the leg.
And I don't think there's even been any other real close calls, actually.
I don't remember ever being hit, but I do remember playing with a certain friend that picked up a ball that was hit into us and turning around and firing it. That really didn't accomplish anything, but just throwing it back in their direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then a thing started after that.
Sure. Yeah.
On the next tee box. They were on the same hole.
Yeah.
And my guy was not amused.
Yeah, I believe that.
And no punches were thrown. Almost.
Yeah.
I was a peacemaker.
Good for you.
I guess. I don't know. He was right. My guy was right.
Yeah, but
to be upset.
Yeah.
I should have been upset.
Yeah.
But he took that over for me.
That all depends. Well, I don't know. Somebody hit into you, throwing the ball. Like I don't know. Like if it's happening again and again, if it's not the first instance of them hitting into you, I think your friend might have overreacted. If it was only the first time that it happened, like that can happen.
Okay. Well, he didn't underreact. We can be sure of that.
Yeah,
that was not what
that definitely sounds like that.
Right. First day of minicamp for the Bills that they have to go to. Sal Copaccio joined us to report on it. That'll be next here on WGR.